Welcome back, Rock Raiders, and we here at Permanent Detour Incorporated are super excited to announce that we've officially completed our hostile takeover of RR Slugger's YouTube channel. Now, I know change can be scary, but I just want to assure everyone that you won't notice any changes and it'll be business as usual. That being said, after some focus groups, we decided to replace Slugger as the host with someone who has a broader appeal. That being Mr. Mario himself, Chris Pratt. And since we want to focus more on that age demographic of 11 to 14, we're going to be doing Fortnite and Roblox Let's Play videos. We'd like to thank Slugger for all of his hard work and dedication to the channel. He shall be receiving a severance package of $13.27 in a Wendy's Biggie Bag. Now with all that out of the way, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. And today, we have a really special guest for everyone. Recently unemployed YouTuber RR Slugger. Now, Slugger, the question on every fan's mind is, how does it feel to be replaced by Chris Pratt?
It feels great, AJ. Thanks for having me, and thanks to both of you guys for watching Avatar so I don't have to. I'm very thankful for that.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did that episode.
Oh yeah, I try to forget.
Brendan is not a fan of that movie.
Every day I strive to forget.
He really does.
I totally called it wrong. I'll admit, I called that entire thing wrong. I fully expected that movie just to bomb, like financially. I had no expectations it would ever make its budget back, and I was dead wrong.
Somebody never saw them. Somebody didn't see the meme of Sauron as
James Cameron.
James Cameron summoning 13 million Avatar fans to come watch the sequel.
Dude, it's about I think it's about to surpass Titanic and become the third highest grossing film of all time.
That's insane. Just so crazy, so crazy.
I mean, apparently people love them Avatar films.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next one.
Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait for 3, 4, and 5. Now we're real excited for Avatar around here, but no, honestly, welcome back to the podcast, Slugger. It's really great to have you back.
Yeah, thanks guys.
It's been like 7 months.
Yeah, it's been a little while here, and it's good to hear from you guys again. Obviously, a lot of things have changed over on the Slugger YouTube channel since the last time we were together. Not not even regarding Chris Pratt and whatnot, but obviously the. I looked at the numbers yesterday. It's like it's 24,000 subscribers right now, which is to me just insane. crazy numbers.
Yeah, actually, there's gonna be, just so everyone knows, I'm gonna put a poll up on our YouTube channel asking if Slugger should get his job back. So everyone should go vote in that right now.
Go vote.
And make sure everyone goes and votes on that.
Yeah, vote no. Yeah.
Yeah, vote no. Keep Chris Pratt.
Slugger enjoying the retirement life.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I went through great efforts to make sure I could get my microphone set up in a way where I could sit on my new couch and record this podcast with you guys. So I'm nice and comfy, and I'm ready to chat about whatever you guys want to talk about today.
That's true. I mean, let's just start with the main thing that your fans and probably the whole channel's about, which is obviously Lego, which is that's a thing, right? Everyone loves Lego. You don't not a fan of Lego?
No. What, did you listen to the last episode?
That's true. Yeah, we were definitely dunking on them for a while there.
Yeah, let's talk about Legos.
Yeah, what's new and exciting for 2023 in terms of Legos? I've actually picked up a couple of the 2023 sets so far. Although actually, you know what? I don't think the tractor's 2023. I think that one's 2022. But I picked up the recycling truck recently. I did. Dark turquoise one. Yep.
Yeah, that's the Lego City one.
Oh, nice. I think I saw the tractor on one of your live streams, Slugger. I think you had shown that one off.
Yeah, and of course the crane. The big blue crane. Both of those are really. Great.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you were boosting the crane.
Yeah. There's definitely folks that tuned into that live stream that have continued the meme going in the comment sections. So that's been kind of fun.
Oh, with the crane?
Yeah, about the crane. Yeah, keeping that crane count going.
It is a nice crane.
Yeah.
I won't deny you that. It was a pretty nice looking crane, what I saw on the live stream. But the question we're all wondering is what's your hot take? What's the best set so far in 2023, Slugger? Ooh. Since you picked some up.
Well, I think honestly the only one I have picked up that is specifically 2023 is the recycling truck, which I thought was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good set. But if we include 2022 into the mix there as well too, I'd have to go back through the memory banks a little bit. The crane is a hot contender, though. And then obviously I talked about the Friends roller disco arcade recently as well too, which was a nice.
That's true.
Nice
I did want to talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
How did you like the phone holder feature?
Honestly, that's actually the second set I have that has a phone holder feature in it. The first one was a city space set from 2019. It's like a mission control center, and you can slide your cell phone into there, and all the ground control crew can watch whatever's on your cell phone. So that's a lot of fun too. The cell phone holder in the roller disco arcade is a little bit more, just kind of like tacked on by comparison, but it worked well enough, and I got a kick out of it, obviously.
So what, do you like watch Family Guy clips while you play with them? I assume that's what it's for, right? For like
I have
like the people with no attention
so you
span?
can keep your attention while
so they
building.
can see like the Family Guy funny moments in the background while they play with the Legos.
I guess, yeah. Honestly, the instructions don't make it clear what you're supposed to do with the cell phone stand, whereas the city set that I talked about, the one from 2019, actually has an app that you download to go along with it, and it has the whole launch countdown and stuff like that. So. That one seemed a little bit more purpose-built.
You're definitely supposed to watch the Lego Friends TV show.
What? Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot there's a TV show for that now.
I'm pretty sure every single Lego original theme has a TV show. Monkey Kid does, Ninjago, City, Friends.
Nice.
Wow.
They all do.
Wow.
Maybe I guess Technic doesn't
Ninjago's
have one.
had a show for ever.
Well, yeah,
I watched Ninjago when I was in elementary school.
That was a good show.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I won't.
I think Netflix bought the rights to it. It's on Netflix now.
Wonderful.
They rebranded the show.
Oh, we'll have to do a Ninjago watch together next time.
Not after the last thing you made me watch.
Whoa!
This man's really complaining about us forcing him to watch
10 minutes
Clutch
in the episode.
Powers.
You're going to start ribbing on Clutch Powers?
I don't want to hear it.
man?
I unfortunately haven't forgotten.
So
you should be
what would you rate your enjoyment on it then? Oh, I guess we haven't had you on since we made that deal.
Yeah.
What would you rate your enjoyment on Clutch Powers? Out of 10.
I mean,
I better hear a double-digit answer.
It's one slug on the slugometer, that's for sure. But I don't know. Honestly, I really did enjoy the start of the movie. The first 5 minutes, like the power miners section, whatever. That was actually a lot of fun. But and it just started going downhill. And once they got to the fantasy world or whatever, I was checking the runtime. It was brutal. So,
that's only 2/3 of the movie.
I know.
You tell me you didn't enjoy the two little comic relief skeletons.
I have to say though, on a personal note for Clutch Powers, it really was a cherry on top that you went through complete agony trying to put the video out too.
Yeah, that's right.
I really like that. Like the cherry on top of you had to watch all of Clutch Powers and then you made a video reviewing it is that you couldn't even post the video and went through weeks of trying to get it out.
Yeah, and there was a lot of suffering that went on in that.
And linking it in the description of a video. I know. All I had to do was buy a Galidor figure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we got the better end of the deal here.
Yeah, you definitely got the short end of the stick there, Slugger.
I mean,
Slugger, on your next.
Speaking of Galidor, it was the 21st birthday for Galidor just a couple days ago. February 9th would have been 21st birthday for Galidor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy that we're the same age as Galidor.
No, we're not.
Same year, though.
We are younger than Galidor.
That's even scarier.
I don't want to hear that, guys. Oh, my goodness. I'm on a podcast with children.
What? No. We're still legally
we're not
adult.
children. We are not
We're
children.
Not children. According to my driver's license, I'm a legal adult.
Yeah. Mine too. Allegedly.
That's just crazy that we should celebrate that we were born the same year as Galidor. That's awesome.
I guess so. Yeah.
What a great 2002. What a great year.
We were cursed and unable to see it though. We were never able to play with Galidor until I was
we all remember 2002, right?
20 years old, and I bought it on eBay.
I do. Vivid memories.
A great year.
Vivid memories of that year.
Especially because I was born in November of 2002. I love that year.
That's a great year.
It was the shortest one I ever had to go through.
Oh my goodness!
No, but
yeah,
for
like Galidor was off the
we gotta
air
do
by
that.
the time you were born. That's crazy. Yeah.
The next live stream we should do who can mangle their Galidor figure more. We'll have a competition.
It will be me.
Yeah, I think you're gonna lose that one, Slugger.
No, okay.
I guarantee you I can mangle. Now the question I have is, do you prefer Gorm or Gorm Deluxe?
You know what? I prefer Gorm over Gorm Deluxe personally.
Really?
I know, and a lot of people prefer Gorm Deluxe, but Gorm has the really awesome purple versus black color palette there, but then on top of that, he's got the claw hand. He's got that big, like, reaching out claw hand, and I used it again in the video this week as well too, holding up the Friends figure. It's just such a great accessory, and you don't get that accessory. In
that's
Gorm
right.
Deluxe. So
yeah, but Gorm Deluxe comes with like the cicada shooter on his arm.
yeah, those are cool. They pick up a lot of like lint and hair though, because like they're made of rubber, so they don't look as good in person as they might look, right? But
I already lost one of them.
yeah,
I played with it for like 2 days and lost one of them immediately.
He can shoot the old like Technic styled projectiles that they used to do all the time back then.
Those old spring shooters.
Yep. Like, or I guess
This is like the baby spring shooter before they were like a thing.
Yeah, like from like '98, like Technic competition, and then they kept using it for a number of years. Like even Dino Attack had them in it. So,
what is Dino Attack?
I've never heard of that. What is that? I know Lego Dino. I have every single set from Lego Dino.
No,
all
it's
8 of them.
it's before.
I think
Dino.
Is that the one that you did Is that the one you did like the unboxing thing on your channel? You did like a review of like a bunch of old sets that you had bought.
And it
had these
one
like
is
buildable dinosaurs.
Right. That one is from Lego Dinosaur, which is I think from 2000 or 2001.
What?
Dino Attack is from...
How many dinosaur themes are there?
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Before Jurassic World kind of like killed these all off, I guess. But Dino Attack is from like 2000.
All the real ones know Lego Dino is the best one.
Yeah, I think it's
Lego
2005
Dino from like
2006.
2010.
Yeah. But Dino Attack was like really peak edgy Lego. In fact, it was censored overseas, like in Europe. They had to redesign the sets to get rid of all the guns and stuff like that. It was called Dino 2010 over there.
I'm familiar with Dino Attack.
There we
now
go.
that I'm
There
looking
we
at
go.
the sets.
Yeah, that's the one.
This one definitely did have the coolest looking dinosaurs, I think, out of the Lego themes.
Yeah,
I think they're the most. I think these are the most stylized.
I like how all their eyes are just like red.
And they all use Galidor joints, so you can mix and match your Galidor parts with the dinosaurs.
Oh, you know what we're buying next?
Yeah, honestly, I would. I'm looking at it, and I'm seriously thinking about buying this attack helicopter one. It's like an Apache helicopter that strikes at dinosaurs.
Probably
it's
dirt
so
cheap too.
It's so good. No, it's actually
really
it's
good.
actually pretty expensive. It's pretty sought after because Lego's never done a big helicopter.
I didn't know
like
anything
that.
other than Lego Star Wars.
Okay,
was sought after.
but like, is it sought after like Lego Star Wars is? Because I've bought classic Lego Star Wars, and that gets up there pretty quick.
I guess that's outside my wheelhouse, to be honest. Yeah, like we
I'll bet you it's less.
we talked about it on one of the live streams. Someone was asking about like if you've got any Holy Grail sets now, Slugger, and I said like, well, maybe I've one of those old Lego Star Wars ones like the Mos Eisley Cantina or the original Cloud City, but like I'm interested in those sets at like the $50 price point. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm $50 interested in Cloud City. I'm not $5,000 interested in Cloud City, like so. Yeah, I don't think
Some people
Dino
are
Attack's
5,000
gonna have
interested
that.
just in Boba
Yeah.
Fett. Wait, do you have Cloud City Boba Fett?
Who? Me? No, absolutely not. No. No.
Oh.
What we would know. Actually,
Yeah.
no, we wouldn't. You probably wouldn't tell anybody if you own that figure. Keep it in a safe.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is worth like a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
This Dino Attack T1 helicopter is not too expensive.
Oh no? Oh, that's good. That's good. I highly recommend it.
I mean,
it's
if
only
it's under
like,
100,
it's only like
it's pretty good.
$225 in the box.
How much on the? How much?
225 is one that I'm looking at right now. That's not too bad.
Yeah, for
definitely cheaper than
600
Star Wars.
pieces though, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely cheaper than Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. I've
say
actually
that
got
much.
the box for it sitting on the floor right in front of my feet here, like maybe a foot away from me.
The helicopter?
Yeah. It was one of my favorite sets growing up. Like, I really enjoyed it. Lots of play value.
It is a really cool looking one.
Yeah.
All right, now I got a question for everyone here. So let's remove Rock Raiders and Star Wars. Let's do some rankings of some themes. Remove those two though. Can't do Rock Raiders, can't do Star Wars because that's too easy.
Right.
So we're not voting.
No, I can still vote.
Why?
And this can be anything. It doesn't. Well, let's just say 2000 to now. Make it simple. So.
Okay.
What's your favorite theme besides Rock Raiders, Slugger?
Oh, from 2000 to now.
I mean, it could be unless there's one from the 90s that you really like too.
Well, I mean, like most of my collections from the 90s. So I mean, you've.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, you know, like 2002 is really where I dropped off with Lego.
You cut Slugger off.
Yeah, you know what?
What's your favorite theme out of?
I probably could still do it from 2000 onwards. Probably my favorite theme is Life on Mars. If I had to choose one.
Life on Mars.
Yeah. That's the one that was pretty much like the very last classic space theme before they started doing combat in a box, where it was all about kill the aliens or arrest the aliens or whatever it is, right? So it was the last like
Mars
wholesome
mission?
Yeah, like you know, yeah, before we got to Mars Mission, Life on Mars was kind of like the last wholesome Lego space theme. So
They used to all live peacefully.
I really like that one.
But then, you know, the green Mars Mission aliens had to attack everybody, and now
what
they're the
about you
bad
guys? Yeah.
You should know that wholesome does not sell.
Wholesome does not sell. I have a couple of those little green Mars Missions aliens sitting in my Mos Eisley cantina upstairs. I love those guys. I think they're a really cool piece. The little, I don't even know what they're like the two-part trans green guys.
Yep.
I think those are probably my favorite looking Lego aliens that they've made.
Really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think they're neat. They're just like, I don't know, because they're like completely transparent, and that's
fair.
Common.
Yeah. They originally were supposed to have moving arms as well too, and you actually can see some photos of prototypes with moving arms. But Lego's really particular about joints that have to move across transparent colors like that. So I think they just ended up molding them straight to the body, and then just had the leg joint as being the only joint that moves.
Yeah, I think I have one of those Mars Mission aliens.
I don't know. I have a few of them. I was a big into Mars Mission when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I would say my favorite non-Star Wars themes would probably be Dino and Space Police 3.
Yeah.
Space Police 3 and probably Mars Mission.
I mean, I don't know. Space Police 3 had some of the most cool-looking aliens I've ever seen.
That's true.
Yeah, actually, that's a good step up.
Those were mini.
Yep.
Yeah, those were the minifig aliens, though.
Yeah, they were minifig aliens.
Yeah.
Not like the Mars Mission guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're just like those guys with little sticks.
No, those guys are something else, man.
No, but actually, Slugger, I do want
to be there.
You've mentioned it a couple times, but I want to hear more about your Dark Age.
Oh, okay.
Of Lego collecting, because you've never really gone over it.
Yeah, you're right.
I've always been curious about what happened. I mean, I don't know if it's an interesting story or not, but I am curious about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And honestly, it's definitely something I've been meaning to talk about in a video at some point, just because I get so many questions about it, or people asking me about my opinion of themes that came out during what is my Dark Age, where I just don't really have an opinion on it, you know, or it's like the Aquazone remake or whatever, Aqua Raiders, I can't remember what it's called. It's like, I don't really know, right? You know, like it I guess it looks neat. I don't know, right? my opinion's not valuable there, right? You know, so in terms of the Dark Age, I guess for me, it like I really started kind of falling off with Lego, like probably 2005-ish onwards. From there, I'd pick up the odd set probably until about 2009, which I think is when Power Miners came out, because I remember very distinctly. Like going off, gosh, was I already going off to university at that age? I can't remember. But I remember very distinctly going out and buying the Power Miners sets from the store, knowing that I wasn't really gonna play with them the same way I used to. Like that to me was a big I'm buying these as now an adult collector, right? Like I'm no longer a kid buying these sets, and that was kind of the turning point for me there. And I just wanted to buy them because I realized this is a Rock Raiders spiritual successor. I want to go out and I want to support it, and I want to get in on it now, right? Where I can. And so I bought 3 different sets there, and those were basically the last 3 sets I bought for Lego for about a decade, probably more. It was about 2020 when I finally got back into Lego again. And most of my collection, like most of the 90 sets I have here now, are all sets I've bought as an adult, not sets I had as a kid. And I think maybe the most surprising aspect that folks might take away from this, I guess, this little conversation here is that most of the sets I had as a kid were from like that 2002, 2003, 2004 period of time, not from like the 1993, 94, 95 sort of period of time. So when I talk about why I like the older 90s sets better, it's not from nostalgia. That's not me speaking with the rose-colored glasses. That's me, honestly, even as a kid back then, I remember looking at old catalogs and being like, I want these old sets. They look cooler. Like I just liked the style of them back then, and I still do today. So not necessarily nostalgic in that regard.
Oh, that's really interesting because I don't know, because when I was a kid, we were more like the late 2000s. Maybe early 2010s was really like peak Lego collecting for us. And
I mean, I stopped for a while in probably 2013.
Yeah, that's probably around when I stopped too. And then I picked it up during quarantine again, 2020.
Yeah,
just because I rebuilt a couple of my old Star Wars ones.
Yeah,
and it's definitely different, especially because Star Wars has always been a big theme. So it's that one's never really gone away. So it's hard to be like, oh, that theme retired and I can't get it anymore. It's like, no, Star Wars is always available.
No, dude, we stopped collecting right before like the peak years.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. They came out with some really cool stuff right after we stopped collecting.
Yep.
But there's also the price point, because there'll be a lot of really cool stuff. I don't know if I think I mentioned on the last podcast how I got the Lego MTT, but I almost got the Twilight because I was watching Clone Wars at that time. But, that was such a good decision.
Yeah, you really did almost have a stupid there and buy
the
stupid.
I was thinking back. I'm like 9-year-old me. 9-year-old me knew what was up. That MTT is like a million times better.
No, that was definitely adult you going back into your 9-year-old self and being like, "Don't make this mistake.
Don't do it." That was just me and my dad at Toys R Us.
Yeah, that hunk of garbage.
That's true, but I think that was a little bit of my prequels love showing through there. I'm like, I like the Clone Wars too, but the prequels movies are like the first Star Wars movies I ever saw. So, I think I don't know. I legitimately don't remember because I saw Star Wars in like 2008.
You saw it in 2008?
Probably around there.
First time I saw Star Wars, I was 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, around that time period. But I do have 2 questions for Slugger based off what he just said. One is I guess. It can either be a theme or just like a general like set wave. Are you really sad that you missed out on during that period of time?
That's a great, really good question, and it's one that's popped up every now and then, like during my live streams, and I'm not totally sure I have the best answer for it. Oh, you know what? I do actually. Oh, wow, it just came to me. Okay, I did a Bionicle video just a couple of weeks back now, and
we can definitely talk
about it.
I know,
yeah. And in the comment section, I talked about how I'm actually really actively interested in getting into Bionicle Generation 2, just to try it out because I obviously missed that. But the prices for those figures, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like you're paying $100 for a Bionicle, and that to me just seems like madness.
Wow,
right? That is a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just for one of the regular Toa from 2015, it's if you want one sealed for at least in Canadian dollars for me, I'm looking at least $100 for like a Kopaka or whatever. And I really wish I would have got in on that when they were on clearance, right? Because these are sets that were like marked down almost like to the level of Galidor back then, right? So because they just weren't selling. Like it was like a Galidor Part 2. And
was that the one that had like the underwater guys and stuff?
No, that's still Generation 1, and that was earlier than that. Generation 2, they look similar to Hero Factory, like they've got more smooth parts, but they're the original Toa, the original 6. Yeah.
Nah, I gotta say, after watching your Bionicle video and a couple more things on Bionicle, I realized that I had a very skewed perspective on Bionicle because the main thing I remember is Bionicle: The Legend Reborn from 2009, that movie.
Oh,
Remember
the one
that
with the gold mask?
The gold mask. And I loved that movie and collecting all the Bionicles, get all the golden pieces, because I have, like, all of them. But then I realized, oh, wait, Bionicle is from, like, 2002. But, like, obviously I wasn't old enough to, like, to see any of that. So my introduction to Bionicle was 2008 and 2009 with this movie. And for the past 15 years, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was the OG Bionicle movie, right? Because I literally did not think about, like, the 2002 movie, which I could not have seen. And then right as we got into Bionicle, they're like, it's gone, bye-bye, Hero Factory.
Right. Yeah.
And to be fair, I love Hero Factory, and I have, like, actually we were down in my basement the other day. Brendan's like, oh, is that your Hero Factory bin? And it was just a ton of mangled Hero Factory characters, like all of them in a giant bin. And I'm like, you know, Hero Factory is really cool, especially because I played the computer game. There's a Hero Factory computer game and TV show.
Oh, cool.
And, yo, James Arnold Taylor's in the Bionicle Legend Reborn. They got Obi-Wan in here. That's sick, actually.
What?
That is sick. You know, I'm looking at them now. I had a couple of these Generation 2 Bionicles. I had, like, maybe 1 or 2 of them.
There's only 2, right? There's only Gen 1 and Gen 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Bionicle guy. Slugger's the man to ask.
Yeah, so we really only saw Gen 2, and I really, for the longest time, thought Gen 2 was the only generation. I did not know Gen 1.
I never realized there was a difference. I just thought they were all
exactly.
Bionicles.
I had no idea that those were different things.
I did a whole
just
video
Bionicle.
about how
Yeah.
I'm not the guy to ask about Bionicle.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've done more research than us. I mean, between the three of us,
fair
you're
enough,
definitely the
I
most
guess.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I always liked Bionicle, but I've only seen the last movie they've ever made. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
So, Slugger, I got a bit of a. This will be a bit of a controversial question.
Okay, Brendan. Yeah.
Leading off of what we were talking about, Bionicle or Galidor? If you had to pick one, which would it be?
Yeah, I know. It's one of those tough ones.
Let's bust this can open.
It's pretty much impossible to compare the two because it would be like trying to say like, okay, which is better? Is it going to be Firefly or is it Star Trek? Right? Where you on one hand you've got something that was good but only like ran for an entire like one little season before.
Slugger, I gotta stop you right
canceled.
there. What is Firefly?
Oh,
what is that?
What is Firefly?
Right. Never heard of that.
Oh, it's a show. It's a science fiction show with like Nathan Fillion. The way back.
I know what that
when.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. It was canceled really early. Like
I actually do know what this is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, I think the comparison holds some merit because Star Trek obviously is this 40, 50-year franchise now at this point with so many different seasons of television, all that sort of stuff. And that's what I see Bionicle as, is it's got so much meat on the bone. Whereas Galidor was it was just starting out, but there was potential, right? Like the potential was there. So it's tough to compare the two. There's obviously things I like better about Galidor versus Bionicle, such as the part quality. Like I think the pieces of Galidor are just some of the highest quality stuff Lego's ever made in terms of like the physical quality of the pieces. Blew me away.
Oh, that's...
So which one would you pick? If you had to keep one and get rid of
we
the
need a
other.
definitive answer here.
You kind of dodged the answer there, Slugger.
Yeah, I gave you the politician
no
answer.
escaping
right?
the question here.
That's
we only
funny.
take yes or no for an answer.
Right.
Yeah, don't forget, vote Slugger, guys.
Yeah, vote Slugger for Prime Minister of Canada.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
write him in.
Despite neither of us being eligible to vote. I support him.
You just got to commit voter fraud.
Or vote. We are eligible to vote, just not in Canada.
Yeah.
I just realized that made us sound like we're like 14. Like, no, we can vote, just not in Canada.
No, we're actually 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We're 15.
And I'm ineligible to run in your country as well too. Someone in my comment section said, "Slugger for president." I was like, "Sorry, I can't. I'm ineligible."
Yeah, Slugger doesn't know what a president is.
You have to be U.S. born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Slugger's ever heard of a president before.
You also have to be like 35, I think.
Yeah, you do.
You know, and Slugger's only like 15 years old, like us.
Right. Yeah.
No,
that's
Slugger's
that's
18.
Okay. Yeah, he's 18.
No,
Yeah,
he's
that's right.
18. We're 15.
That's why he knows Galidor and we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galidor came out 21 years ago. We discussed this. Yeah.
So which one's it gonna be?
Ah, darn! I really thought I could dodge that. No, the bullet.
Nope.
Nope.
Not here.
Nope. You gotta pick which way the train goes,
yeah,
and
it's
one
like
theme
one
gets
of those,
destroyed.
This is the trolley question.
In Revenge of the Sith, it's like one of those buzz droid missiles or whatever. It just keeps chasing me around. I saw Revenge of the Sith in the theater way back when. I know you guys were talking about Star Wars movies.
He's really trying to dodge the question by bringing up Star Wars.
I think I'll take that as he'll throw Bionicle away. Yeah. I think that's the answer he's trying to give.
I almost got away with it too.
Almost got. He's like, remember that Star Wars movie? You guys tried to distract us.
You guys remember that one? I remember seeing it in the theater.
You really thought I could distract us with that one? It almost worked. Yeah, it almost worked.
Yeah.
Almost worked.
Okay.
Which one is it? We need a concrete answer.
When it comes to the story and the lore, nothing beats Bionicle. Honestly, it's so well thought out, laid out.
Bionicle.
Bionicle.
But when it comes to the sets, the toys themselves, I'll be honest. I think I have way more fun playing with Galidor than I do with Bionicle.
So is it Galidor?
Well, there we go. That's the answer.
Yeah,
is it Galidor? Yes, you would keep it.
Yeah, he's keeping Galidor. We know he is. We know he's keeping Galidor.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first, folks. All right, start sharpening your pitchforks now.
Yeah, you guys got me.
That's a good. Yeah. All right. Now we'll go to the other question I did want to ask, because you've obviously mentioned. I'm sure you have. Maybe I just haven't paid attention enough. But you do mention how you like the old colors better. Mm-hmm. And I know there was something about the old. Was it gray? The old gray.
Right.
That was like one of the specific colors.
Yeah.
And that change happened in like the late 2000s, right?
It happened in like 2006 or 2007.
Mid 2000s. I was earlier than I thought, actually. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know that much about that Switch, so can I maybe just tell me a little bit about it, or why you prefer the old ones?
Sure.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So the changeover kind of happened during the time where Lego was in complete free fall financially, panic mode. 2003 is one of the years where nothing was making any money for the company except Bionicle. And 2003, and I think it was 2000
and Star Wars,
and 2006. No, see, the problem was they were paying too much for the licensing fees for Star Wars. So Star Wars was still
that's true.
It was still costing them too much money. Like for all of 2003 and 2006, the only theme that was making turning a profit was Bionicle, and so they're just hemorrhaging money, and you can really see it in the years leading up to 2004 as well too, because in 2002 and I think in 2003 as well too, they started re-releasing old sets from like the 80s and the 90s, like just reprinting these old sets like Black Falcon Fortress, Guarded Inn, Breezeway Cafe. This was under the Lego Legends line, and I really see that as just like a desperate attempt of like, you know what, these sold back in the day, let's try to sell them again, right? We've got nothing here. We have no idea what we're doing, and we're just trying to make some money somehow. So when the color change happened, I think that's what corresponded with change in leadership in the company as well too. And one of the big things they did is they culled the color palette of Lego. It was getting so out of hand. There were so many of these little one-off colors that came into a few Duplo sets and then were gone. And they did a major overhaul in the color department, starting in 2004 and then continuing onwards for the next couple of years. Because I think the old brown was retired in 2006, if I recall. I don't remember. Excuse me, I don't remember offhand. Yeah, the color changeover, I'm not sure as to the reasoning behind it, for the grays at least. Some of the old gray parts can yellow, which is a problem with them, so they get more green looking and they don't match the old color that they're supposed to be, whereas the new shades don't suffer from that to the same extent. So that could be one reason behind it.
Interesting. I don't know. It's just the whole process of how they change over things and how certain themes could save a whole company is it's just kind of crazy, especially because we're talking on such a large scale. These aren't some tiny family owned business. This is happening on a mass scale.
Yeah, and
those types of decisions usually take like a while to implement too.
I remember very distinctly getting my first set with like new grays in it back then, and then later with new browns, because I remember looking at them and being like, hey, these aren't the same colors, that they don't match what I already have, right? And so I kind of lived through that changeover. And even to this day, most of my collection is in the old colors. I don't really collect much from post 2002 anyways. So, yeah, I've got several large bins behind me of like old grays, and then one tiny little bin of new grays, all kind of lumped together.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of which, before we move on from Lego, I do want to get Slugger's opinion on more just like current Lego and what the future holds, and how where like, I mean, maybe not necessarily like, oh, like I guess it could just be either be the direction of the company in general, or the sets. You could just specifically talk about the sets if you don't want to talk about like the financial
I'm happy to. No, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
Or what are some current sets right now that are coming out that you actually think are really cool?
Well, there's going to be a new one in March, Creator 3-in-1, designed by Marin Stopkovic, that I've got an eye on. Not just because I've kind of become friends with him as a Lego designer, but also because he's just hitting home runs when it comes to these Creator 3-in-1s lately. And
yeah, shout him out. Let's hear it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm gonna look him up.
So he did the what's it called? The Deep Sea Sunken Treasure mission, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
The 3-in-1 with the octopus in it. So that one's great. He obviously did the Creator 3-in-1 Street Racer, the turquoise car, 2 years ago now. So that one's a big one too. And then recently, I think some of his other ones have been the White Rabbit Creator 3-in-1. I know he designed that. But the main reason I'm looking at this new one, it's called the Cozy House, I think is the name that they're going with.
Oh yes, I know the one you're referring to.
Yeah.
That one actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I honestly, I was really into it even before I knew that there was going to be a little Rock Raiders reference in it. So I don't know if I'm responsible for the reference being there, like if that's a little nod to Slugger or not. Whether Marin would have done that had I not, had we not communicated and got in contact with each other a while back. But regardless, it's cool. It's really cool, and I think the set is going to show some of the best of his engineering when it comes down to it, because he really goes all out in his ways of masking the alternate builds within the main model, I think. So like for example, just on the Cozy House, looking at the roof color is that like light blue. I don't know the name of it, but it's reused as water in the alternate builds, which is really cool. So the plates used on the roof.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, is that neat? And then all of the
that is neat.
Models, they fold up, they close up on themselves too. Like all three of them. I'm just like I'm baffled. It's great.
Wow, that is impressive. This is a nice
I'm looking through the Creator 3-in-1s right now. They have a lot of really good ones.
Yeah.
Like more than Downtown Noodle Shop School, both the pirate and Viking ships are awesome.
Tiger's probably the coolest one.
Tiger, yeah, you can make
I like the butthole tiger.
Yeah, the butthole tiger.
Yeah, you can turn him into a red. Nah, build him as the red panda. That's the way to do it.
Red panda doesn't have a butthole.
That's true. That is true. In the medieval castle, like, that's pretty cool too. That fits well with any Lego castle stuff.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. I'm pretty excited for all those. Obviously, I'll do a quick Star Wars plug-in. I'm real excited for those Cody and Rex helmets.
Oh, right.
The helmet series are pretty cool. Plus, they have the Princess Leia Bosch helmet, which
that one's cool.
Honestly,
yeah.
I've heard some people say this. That is by far the most accurate helmet they've ever built.
It is from Slugger's favorite movie. Maybe he'll pick that one up.
Yeah, he'll pick that one up. You should pick it up.
They don't make a lot of Return of the Jedi ones.
Yeah,
that's true. They don't. And again, I legitimately believe that is the most accurate looking helmet they've built out of all of them. Nice. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I'd say Boba Fett's still probably my favorite, but I still think it's amazing. And I also just ordered the blacksmith, the Lego blacksmith ideas set, because that one went on back order, and I was finally able to get it.
Oh wow, nice!
I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll address the elephant in the room. The set I look forward to most is Rivendell. How do you feel about that, Slugger?
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
I guess we can. Do we want to do the Lord of the Rings tangent now, or say?
We might as well. I mean, you were talking about sets we're excited. That is legitimately probably the one I'm most excited
There's
for
a
this
couple
year.
other ones I wanted to talk about before we got into the whole Rivendell.
I didn't know there was going to
Nothing
be a
wrong
Lord
with
of the
Rivendell.
Rings tangent here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like AJ's setting you up.
Yeah,
I
this
see.
is, again, I hope you gotta be ready for the hit piece. It's coming.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just not a series that I have much interest in, like as a film franchise and whatnot. What I will say is, I think like most people, well, like when I was watching it recently, watching the Lord of the Rings movies, I had to adjust like the color on my TV. Like I had to really bring up the reds because I realized everyone who watches these movies is watching them with rose-colored glasses on, right? So I had to really adjust my TV settings.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't realize it was like that.
Oh, so he's coming out with the punches. I see. Okay. All right, Slugger. What do you?
Yeah.
Slugger's really a fan of Star Trek.
Yeah, I didn't realize bringing up this Lego set was going to start a cage
We
match.
should start trashing Star Trek now, just to get back at
Wow.
him.
Yeah, he's probably got ammunition against Lord of the Rings, though. I don't know much about Star Trek.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that goes to show because no one watches Star Trek, so they wouldn't
Yeah.
they wouldn't
Hey,
have
you know what, though?
anything to hit back
I like
at.
Buck Rogers, though. That's way better.
There you go. Yeah. It's got a
You
good
ever
theme
watch
song.
Buck Rogers,
Yeah.
Slugger?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Does.
I mean, I used to watch a lot of those old science fiction shows. Your old Battlestar Galacticas, The Star Lost. Logan's Run had
I
an
like
original
Battlestar Galactica.
original show as well too, and they had just the best theme songs. Like I love the music in those old 70s science fiction shows. Planet of the Apes had an old TV show as well too, for a little bit. So.
Yeah. So, are you sure you didn't just fall asleep during the movies and that's why you don't like them?
Yeah, you might have just been not watching.
Okay, so we're
I feel like Slugger fell asleep and started dreaming about the movies, and that's how he thinks they go.
Yeah.
It's like this really warped perception of the movies.
I tried to pivot away from Lord of the Rings, but we're here to stay for a little bit, I guess. Like the first one.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's. I've seen it a few times. I definitely fell asleep the first time trying to watch it.
Hey, I knew it. I called it.
Yeah. And I was young when I was trying to watch it the first time. I don't know how young I was, but everyone was going crazy for this movie, so I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And then, I don't know, fell asleep. It wasn't that interesting to me back then, and I rewatched it a couple of times as an adult, and yeah, both times I was like, nah, I'm not really seeing it here, and there's a lot of cracks in the visual effects department and stuff like that. So that's why I'm talking about people watching it with rose-colored glasses. I think they treat those movies like they're like just this marvel of cinema or whatever, and I don't think they hold up as well as folks think they do.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll give you a slight agreement there because I just rewatched all three of those movies not that long ago, and I think you're right. The visual effects department is definitely lacking. Mm-hmm. Some of those, especially in Fellowship, which is the best of the three. Some of those orcs are looking rough.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I disagree with both of you. What are you guys talking about? The visual. They didn't really use any of it. It's all practical. Pretty much all of it's practical.
Oh, I know. And some of those orcs look rough, man.
Well,
No, they look way better than in The Hobbit when
let's-
they're actually
let's-
digitally made.
Let's go to the start of the second movie. And
Wait, and also, did you say
And-
Fellowship's the best movie? Because that's wrong.
No, Fellowship is definitely the most entertaining.
That's not true.
I
was the only one-
honestly,
it's the one without a
I
fight
preferred
scene.
the second one myself. But the
Second one's
second
cool.
one?
You really like Helm's Deep is probably like one of the greatest scenes in film history.
You can barely tell what's going on.
you might have to adjust your.
But there's
TV
like
settings
10
there,
million
yeah.
guys all over each other.
Yeah. To expose myself, I'm a film major, and you guys are just wrong. My opinion's objectively
Yeah, I forgot
correct.
AJ's objectively
That's fair.
right because he
Objectively
paid for that.
correct.
Because he paid for that opinion.
You guys really trashing on the digital effects of Fellowship of the Ring from 2001 when
Yeah,
there's literally none. It's all practical.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot. We can't diss on AJ's $40,000 opinion.
Yeah,
That's
my
true.
$100,000 a year.
He paid for that
film
opinion.
degree opinion.
I
I'm paying
forgot. I
for
forgot. You're really allowed to own that opinion because you paid for it.
it. If you watch The Hobbit, you actually see what digital orcs look like. The practical ones look way better.
Yeah, that's fair.
They look a lot better. They don't look like they're digitally composited in. They look fake.
Well, I don't know. Well, those orcs weren't grown in the mud.
I don't know. I think the visual effects hold up well because they're practical.
Good old Saruman didn't farm those orcs with his own 2 hands.
That's true. He didn't grow them in the tanks.
Yeah, he grew them in the dirt.
Into like the pits.
He just threw them in a hole.
Now, the main thing I would give Lord of the Rings in terms of, like, it's like they're long. Like, it's not a type of, like, oh, it's a casual film. Let's just throw it on and watch it. It's a nice, fun, easy watch. It's just not that type of film.
The battle scenes are good, but they get kind of old.
I still enjoy them. I don't think I'll ever get sick of them.
I don't know. I mean, Helm's Deep is cool, but, like, only the part when they're, like, trapped inside the castle is cool. The whole part outside is, like, very...
No, you're wrong. Whole scene is perfect start to finish.
How?
It's just so much fun to watch. The drama, the intensity,
I guess so.
The feeling of hopelessness, and then just see this massive army, and they just blow up like the wall with the dynamite. It's sick.
That's true. Yeah, but after that, you can't tell what's happening because there's so many people. There's
you have,
so
like,
many
little
people
fight scenes where he
all
throws
fighting each other.
Gimli into all of them.
I know. I remember when he throws Gimli. That's one of the 5-second cutaways. That battle is like 30 minutes.
I know, and it's. I can watch all 30 minutes of it every time.
All I'm saying, if you're gonna keep riding Helm's Deep like that, dude, it's definitely Isengard. Isengard is definitely the best part of that movie.
I mean, like
when
Ents?
the Ents
that's
topple
cool.
it.
I love every part of the movie.
That is definitely better.
This is about to turn into a Lord of the Rings love fest here.
While Slugger remains silent.
Slugger is silent in the background. So you gotta watch the extended version because then they're like 4.5 hours. It's much better.
Yeah. Have you watched the full version though, Slugger? Like,
Yeah,
did you watch the extended director's cut of all 3 of them? It's only like
I
close to
haven't,
like 15 or 20 hours.
I haven't watched the third one, so I've only seen the first 2.
You haven't seen the third one. That's the best one.
Well,
you just said the second one was the best one.
No, that's what Slugger said.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said he prefers the second one.
I
didn't say
said
the second one
preferred
was
the second
best
one to the first one. The first one really.
The third one is
like I don't know, like the set pieces are good enough. But the characters don't feel like they know each other at all. Like you're supposed to be on a big adventure with like this fellowship, right? But they just don't.
The whole point is that the fellowship dissolves.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
I'll say one thing as to why Fellowship is the best movie. Frodo does nothing in the 2 movies after it. He does absolutely nothing. There is nothing but walking and talking in all of the scenes Frodo is in the second 2 movies.
Yeah, because he's going through the mental anguish of having the ring.
Yeah, I know, but like it gets really boring. Where it's just like,
you're just a hater.
Where
you're
it's
just
like,
hate.
oh guys, look, big battle, high stakes. Here's Frodo crying over the ring.
No, you're just hating to hate.
I'm not. I'm saying why I like the first one better is because Frodo is actually part of the group, and there's
the third one is where the most stuff happens. Most things happen in the third movie. That's why it's.
Yes, that's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
It's basically a 2-hour-long battle scene with 45 minutes of Frodo climbing a hill and falling down on Mount Doom.
The first hour and a half of the Fellowship is not just being in the Shire, being like it's all just set up.
Yeah, the third movie isn't that different from that.
Yeah, it is. Third movie's mostly action, like battles, and like actually being in Mordor. And like
That's true. Yeah, but even when they're in Mordor, nothing really happens. Like they fight the spider at the very beginning,
not true.
And then they.
Oh, I just recently watched the extended edition. A lot of stuff happens where they almost get caught like 3 times.
Oh well, I didn't watch the extended edition.
You're lacking.
I'm sorry that I didn't spend the extra hour to appreciate the movie that I like not as much as the first one better.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think Slugger's more of a sci-fi guy. So
we really set Slugger up and cornered him here, and then started bickering.
Yeah, sorry, Slugger. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
We do that sometimes where we start arguing with each other and just kind of goes on indefinitely.
The idea of like an extended cut making a movie better. Sometimes like that can happen and it does like I'm thinking of like Kingdom of Heaven, for example, as a movie where they say like you have to watch the director's cut if you're going to watch it at all. And
the Snyder cut for Justice League.
Right, yeah, something like that.
That's the only way to watch it.
Yeah.
Only way to watch that movie.
That is no. You're comparing a suggestion where it's like you should watch the director's cut to the Snyder cut, which is like you might as well not watch it. A totally different movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just think Slugger's a sci-fi guy. Maybe not big into fantasy.
No, I don't know. You were boosting that one. What was it? That one board game.
Oh right, yeah. We're talking.
That wasn't very sci-fi.
Yeah.
That definitely seemed more more medieval fantasy type stuff.
I mean, I'm not sure if you guys caught it during. I think I talked about it maybe one of the live streams, but probably a shock to almost anyone is that as much Lego as I have, and like as much like monetary value as the Lego collection is, it's not as great as the Heroscape collection that I've got, right? So which is kind of crazy to think about, but Heroscape is just so expensive now. It's really tough to break into that board game.
So what kind of is it? So I'm looking at it. It's just like a miniature video game, or not? Sorry, not video game. I meant board game.
Yeah,
you know what I meant.
It's really great, honestly. And I remember when it first came to Canada back in the day, I got into it. So it's like a miniature game, similar to something like your Warhammers or something like that, but easy enough that you could teach a child the game in like 20 minutes, and yet it still has enough depth to keep adults into it. Like it hits that perfect sweet spot with the rules.
All right, Slugger, since we're children, teach it to us.
All right.
Yeah, the next 20 minutes is going to be Slugger teaching us how to play it.
There's this really cool.
Our minds are not developed enough to understand it.
There's a really cool dynamic between commanding what are called heroes in the game and commanding what are called squads. And squads are made up of 3 or 4, sometimes 2, I guess, miniatures. And those figures can only take a single hit. Like if they get hit, they're dead, and that's it. They're taken off the board. But your heroes can take a few hits, and they've got a little life meter on them that tells you how many they can take. So a lot of the game is based on should I build my army based around the synergies between these heroes and squad figures, or am I going to go just all squads? Am I going to go all heroes? That's probably a bad idea, because at the end of the day you want to be rolling a lot of dice. Like if you want to win, you want to be rolling dice a lot on your turn, doing damage to your opponent. So usually squads are a good way to do it. However, there's a couple of heroes in the game that can really take out squads quite easily. So you're always kind of doing this like counter draft against your opponent. And then on top of that, there's the whole 3-dimensional terrain aspect of the game, which is really, really great. It elevates it beyond just being a little board game, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really caught my eye when I think I don't think it was on a live stream. I think it was you did a video where you talked about it. That was one of the things that visually really caught my eye when you talked about that game, was the 3D board.
Yeah.
And like the elevation.
Yeah.
That made it seem really interesting, because there's not a lot of board games I've seen that are like that.
And honestly, like even if Hasbro just printed the terrain, just printed those pieces again, you'd have people buying it for Dungeons and Dragons or any of those tabletop role-playing games, honestly. Yeah, it's just so versatile, and it's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that explanation of Dungeons and Dragons, Slugger.
Yep, that was what we were talking about. Don't worry, AJ.
I feel
AJ,
like I learned a lot.
You already primed me with the next thing in my crosshair.
Nice.
Oh, what's up next?
When you said video games, so
video
Slugger,
games. Well, I want to finish. I just want to ask Slugger a question about Lego before we move on to video games. Have you seen the A-frame cabin, Slugger? I feel like you would like that set.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've looked at it. So sorry, is there more to the question, or do you want me just to talk about it?
No, I just feel like that's a set you would like. And then if you had any opinions on the future of Lego, because we didn't really get into that when I originally asked it.
Yeah.
Because we kind of got sidetracked with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I've seen the A-frame cabin. I think it looks cool. It's really expensive here in Canada. I can't remember how much, but definitely outside my current budget for Lego.
It costs like an icicle.
Yeah, like it's
couple icicles.
It's kind of to the point here where I don't like. I'm not trying to like actively just go out and buy something because I think it's cool anymore, especially with new Lego. I kind of have to be thinking about it in terms of like, am I gonna talk about this in a video, or like I really have to weigh it out and be like, okay, do I really want this? Because I'll be honest with you guys, I could stop buying Lego for the rest of my life here, and I've got enough Lego in the collection right now that I'd have video content for years to come if I wanted, right? So
oh wow,
because we're talking about like full series collections of pretty much every 90s space theme that was released, and so when you have every single set from those series, you could do a full-on retrospective of every single one of those, and that's like a 9-month project right there. So like just for each one of those series, like that's years of content. And like there's some themes on that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time now. Like I mentioned, Life on Mars, Alpha Team's another big one. I've got plans to get through those series and do a full retrospective of them. But now I'm looking at like 2024 as being like the most like likely time I could even start on those projects. And it's maddening to think about and to have to plan your release schedule out like years in advance. But it's honestly what I do.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, I've noticed a lot of those classic space themes kind of sneak their way into your videos, like the life on, like even though you won't talk about the sets, I'll see a lot of the Life on Mars and what is it, Insectoids? Do you have those?
Yep.
I've seen them sneak their way in.
Yep.
In addition to like Ice Planet and stuff like that, because those all have relation to Rock Raiders. There's some similarities there that you compare.
So
as well as with some of those like miniature racers, a lot of the Ice Planet stuff kind of snuck in there.
I'll address AJ's other point of his question too about the future of Lego as well. Honestly, the business side of the company has the potential to ruin the hobby for me, which is a sad thought. It's a really sobering thought to consider and to contemplate. But depending on the decisions that the business side of the company makes in the future, that'll determine whether or not I'm willing to continue to talk about the sets or the product as a result. And that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to think about. But obviously the gift with purchase system, I've shared my thoughts about that, and it seems like it's going to become a big part of what the company is going to do going forward. But if they go the route of like your Magic the Gatherings or your Hasbro products or whatever it is, I could really see myself just being turned off of Lego entirely, which is, I mean, it's sad, but it's one of those things where we've got to appreciate living in the moment, appreciate our time together now,
Yeah. So will you be switching to Mega Blocks then?
Yeah, switching to
Mega Construct. Sorry,
Mega Construct. Yeah. No, honestly, if they go the route of Wizards of the Coast, that's like a whole. Honestly, I think I would be super surprised if they went that far, because like Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro for the Magic the Gathering is like a whole different like. I watched some videos on that, and that's the stuff they're doing is literally insanity.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you guys like thousands of dollar cards that you actually can't use in the game, you're just buying for fun.
Like, you just gotta buy it for fun.
Insanity. And also, I think they're doing it with Dungeons and Dragons too, where they might strip you have to pay them royalties anytime you do any game of any sort.
It's it's heading in that direction, especially when you have CEOs like I think Cynthia Williams is her name, who are just blatantly just saying like, D&D as a brand is under monetized, and we want the same user recurrent spending that you see in video games. And if she's just open about that, that's crazy, right? Like that's actively anti-consumer.
Well, yeah, it's not fair that video games get to make money and they don't make nearly as much.
Well, they saw how popular D&D was because of Stranger Things, and I'm like, all right, let's make a boatload of money now.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah,
fair.
Don't forget to cry for your local billion-dollar corporation that keeps charging you more because they want more money.
And it was crazy how, like, honestly, I think the most egregious thing they did was how, like, they shut off all the local game stores from even getting the cards, so they weren't even allowed to sell them.
Right,
you could only get it online directly from the source.
Yeah. It's like, wow. I mean,
they don't want anyone selling them for cheaper than they want.
I'm hopeful that Lego will. I don't think Lego will ever go down a route that blatantly consumer.
I'm hopeful too. I'm hopeful, but honestly, it takes folks fighting back against the narrative in order to keep it a friendly like hobby that we can all enjoy. So when I see folks defending the gift with purchase practice, or like, I mean, I'm not going to call out names of content creators here, but there's plenty of content creators, especially with like the last round with the Bionicle one, that were making videos about like, here's a buyer's guide on what to buy in order to even qualify to get the set that you actually want. And to me, that's insanity. That's so far far outside the realm of reasonability that I just can't even approach that. Like that's it's bonkers. It's bonkers. And then the fact that so many people get into that and buy into that and accept that as being practical. It's going to be a video topic at some point, so I won't divulge too much here. But the whole blind bag versus blind box collection thing with the collectible minifigures, it brings up the concept of the Overton window, and I'm left firmly far in the past, and I look at both of those options as being completely anti-consumer between blind bags and blind boxes. Why are we accepting either as an option is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the gift of the purchases, like, I don't think as a concept they're necessarily like a bad thing, because it is like Lego needs some way to drive people to buy it from them versus from Target or Walmart. But my main issue is when they put remakes behind the gift of purchase wall.
Yeah.
I disagree fundamentally that a remake of something should go behind.
Well, I've got a counter argument for you. Why don't they just make a Lego store exclusive sets that you can only get in the store?
There are.
Yeah, why don't they just do that instead?
Yeah, I mean, again, that would be another way to
It's
approach
like if you
it.
can only get it there, why not just only have it so you can buy it at the Lego store?
I think that's difficult because they have contract agreements
Yeah.
with Target, Walmart, and Amazon where they
Well, yeah,
they can only do
and then they
certain
can't
things.
charge $200 for the Blacktron set.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, again, I just fundamentally disagree with putting a remake behind, because then it's more. Because like the remake was specifically like these are things. I guess maybe the voting aspect is what makes it, I think, more egregious, because they had the fans vote on it, where they're like, oh, vote for which themes you want to see come back, and then they did make sets of them, which are great, but then they also are like, we'll also give to purchases, and it's like, well, if you're gonna do a fan vote specifically asking, what do you guys want to see, and then you throw that behind a gift with purchase thing, making it not as accessible, I disagree with that. Because then that kind of takes the whole point away. Because if it's just like, oh, this is just like a random Lego City or Poly bag, that's like a cool little fun thing, then I don't really see a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Versus when you're like, oh, this is an exclusive thing like that everyone wants, but now
it's a whole
behind
set
a
that you can
paywall.
only get for a 2-week period.
Exactly, like,
yeah,
and they only did it with the big one. I think I commented this on your video. Like the big sets, like the $100 and $400 ones, are sets versus the Forest Hideout or Blacktron, which would have been like $30-$40. Are
Yeah, but instead they
behind
can
the
make
paywall.
$200 off sets that people don't want to buy.
exactly.
So
yep. Yep.
The remakes is really where I get the because like they know fans want those remakes.
Yeah, I'm with you, AJ, and honestly, that's the whole reason I ended up talking about it in the first place was with the Forest Hideout. That's kind of what turned me on to the whole problem here, I guess, right? And in fact, one of my like someone in the comments on one of those videos, either FOMO 1 or FOMO 2, I can't remember which one, was saying that why is everyone getting up in arms about the Blacktron cruiser? No one got up in arms about Ray the Castaway, as being a gift with purchase, and I kind of had to explain to them, like, it's like, well, if you don't see the difference between Blacktron coming back and Ray the Castaway, the gift with purchase, then like obviously I think that then you're being like knowingly obtuse in that situation, right? Because obviously those are very different sets.
It's the ostrich strategy.
The
Drive your head into the sand and pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to play devil's advocate for Ray, Ray was designed for Lego ideas, so I guess
that's fair.
To play devil's advocate for that.
Yeah, I think there was
I don't think it's the same level
car.
as like a remake of a theme, but
yeah,
I could see someone maybe potentially making the argument since a fan designed it. But even then, like that make it, like basically saying like we weren't gonna make that into a set. Like it wasn't like I think making Ray, they don't really make sets of that size really. But I think it was cool that they at least made the set as a gift for the purchase, just a nod to the creator.
Yeah,
Well,
it's definitely not the same as a classic.
It's
theme.
nothing nearly on the same caliber as Blacktron. I mean, Blacktron,
definitely
I've still looked on eBay. I looked when it was still available as a gift with purchase, and I thought about buying it for like $50 or $60 because I'd rather spend that and get what I want than spend $200 on sets I don't want just to get it.
Yeah. I think honestly
totally...
one of the more frustrating aspects of the aftermarket for these sets is that because we're dealing with sets that are small and originally were scheduled to retail at a small amount, it makes it seem like they're still very accessible online. So I get folks telling me like, oh, but the Forest Hideout, it's still available. You could buy it for like $35-$40 online right now on Bricklink. And I have to tell them, well, you know what? It was suggested to retail at $25, and so that's almost like a 100% markup on its original price. Like that. I know we're talking about small numbers here. Like the difference between $25 and $40 isn't the same as like $250 to $400. Obviously, that's a huge difference in how many dollars you're spending. But the markup is still the same, and it still shouldn't be accepted, in my opinion, right? Like, I don't think it's acceptable to have to pay that much more money for a set that isn't worth that.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to talk about a gift with purchase going way up. I have the Lego Yoda's lightsaber that came with the Mos Eisley Cantina when it came out, and that's worth about $200 right now, and the Cantina retails for $350.
That's so crazy.
400
or 400 now. Sorry, the little Yoda's lightsaber is worth half of what the Cantina is worth at retail.
Yeah.
How many pieces is it again? Oh, look at that, less than 200. Nice.
No, I mean, it is...
You're only paying like $1.50 a piece, buddy.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I do say it's all part of the current strategy of appealing to adults. Obviously, I think probably the Botanical collection is a great example of that, because I think the Botanical sets are all very cool, and it's definitely... You can see Lego is now... I think we mentioned in the last episode how they are switching towards that adult market, and when you have these Botanical sets and they're very realistic and they're very appealing, even if you're not a Lego collector. So I know a lot of people are buying them not even as Lego collectors. They just really like the plant, or they want a display plant that's not necessarily... They'll never buy any other Lego set, but they'll buy the Botanical collection because they want like a plant they don't have to water.
Bonsai tree goated.
Bonsai tree is amazing.
Best
especially as the cherry
set.
blossom. I love it as the cherry blossom tree.
I haven't even built the regular leaves.
Yeah, they're designed to look as realistic as they possibly can within like the medium of plastic bricks, and I think that's kind of the shift where it's like, if you get someone in like that who is maybe only looking for that type of set, maybe not is a big Lego collector, the gift with purchase is now incentive to get 2 of those or 3 of those or whatever they're coming in to buy. And since it is marketed towards adults and not kids necessarily, that the adults have the money to spend to get those higher end gift with purchases. And unfortunately, that means leaving behind some of like the classic fans of those themes, because they're the ones who do want them. But in general terms, like, they are a much smaller percentage of Lego's audience / market than, Meemaw going in to get some flowers for her granddaughter or something, you know?
Well, you know what? We can all at least appreciate that the one thing that wasn't locked behind the paywall, probably the best set that I've built in the last 2 or 3 years, is the Galaxy Explorer.
Absolutely.
I love that set so much.
Best one.
Yeah.
Best one right there. That's probably one of the best Lego sets ever.
Honestly, in terms of money, like in terms of the value, $100 is a great deal, and Walmart during the holiday season was selling it for $50.
It's
$50.
insane.
They're selling it for $70.
No, it went down to $50.
Really?
It was $75, and then they did drop it down to $50 when they had like only a couple left. And getting $50 for that set is a steal.
It's
a steal.
So it's such a good value. Yeah.
I mean, even 100, and I know you noted this, Slugger, that like if you really want to get the mileage to do the alternate builds, but I haven't. But even at $100 just for the Galaxy Explorer, it's so worth it.
It is,
especially as a Star Wars collector, where like you know, like the ATTE was $140, and it's really cool. It's a really cool set, but like I don't know that it's quite on par with like the prestige of the Galaxy Explorer.
Yeah, that's designed by Michael Psyche, and he's got quite a good list of credentials in the Lego group as well too. The Galaxy Explorer just kind of blew me away, and it was one that I wasn't really interested in initially because like that 70s era classic space just didn't really appeal to me, and still doesn't visually. So at first I was like, I'll just give this one a pass, and I'm not going to get the castle either, so I'll just pass on these. But then I heard about the alternate builds for the Galaxy Explorer, and that's what sold me in the end. I was like, oh, it's a 3-in-1? Are you kidding? That's awesome. So.
Yeah, well, and you get two other classic space sets too that are the alternate builds, right?
Yep. So.
Yeah, I bought that. Actually, a big part of it was because of your video because I saw it and I was and
yeah.
had a very positive review of it. But I also bought it to build it with my dad because he collected the classic space theme in the 70s.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
my dad.
awesome.
I have the original space, like the set that it's based off.
Nice.
My dad had
That one's pretty expensive.
It has the whole. It has the whole base. And it's so
Yeah.
cool because you get the gray base plate, but the base plate has the moon rocks like as part of it.
Those ones are awesome.
Where it's like has like the L of moon rocks, and I'm just like, oh, I wish they would make like a gray base plate with moon, or even
it's a shame they don't really do base plates.
And then you could
anymore.
just swap the color to like sand red, and it's Mars.
Oh,
without changing anything.
That'd be
but
so
the color.
cool. That'd be so cool. Yeah, I like.
Guys, let's start a petition to get Mars mission brought back.
Well, this is what I was thinking, and before we move on, I was like looking in the Lego store the other day, and they had, there was like all those NASA inspired sets. I actually got one of them. It's like the little rover, and I put that next to my. It's like the lunar rover, but it's based off like the Artemis NASA stuff.
Yeah.
The base and the rover and stuff. And I got the little rover, and it's so cool because like the wheels are 360, so you can literally spin it around. Or
I love that. Yeah.
And that set is actually really cool. I think it actually pairs because I wanted like a grounded thing to put next to my Galaxy Explorer, and I think it works really well without having to buy the whole base. It's just a little rover. Plus, you get a little crystal rock that has the space, like the logo on it, like the flag.
Yeah, good idea.
But I was thinking about it, and they were all Lego City sets, and I'm like, it's just like. It dumbfounds me. It's like they don't even have to change anything. Don't change anything about the sets. Literally not a single thing.
Yeah.
But just call it Lego Space, and I guarantee they would sell better.
100%.
They would sell better.
Yeah.
Even if it's a sub theme of city, it could just be a sub theme of city, and literally just swap the color palette to purple instead of blue, and just call it like Lego City. Then underneath city, just put space as like a sub theme. Mm-hmm. That would do the same exact thing. I guarantee people would be more likely to be like, oh, I want to collect all the Lego space sets versus like they're just a couple sets in the city wave.
Yeah, well, and because if you're going for a complete collection, city is
there's so many sets.
nigh impossible task.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if it was just like, oh, collect the 5 sub-theme sets of space, then I think way more people would be willing to do that. And I know it's like a marketing gimmick, but it just kind of dumbfounds me that they didn't think of that.
I think that's a great idea.
They're an anti-consumer company.
Yeah. It has to just be because of the uniform. They really like having everything be like they're doing that with Star Wars, but they changed all the box art to be the same. The only thing they swap is the character to determine like.
That's because of Black Series though. They did it, and it's in line with the Black Series figures. So
yeah, but I guess it just has to be like maybe it's cheaper to not print it as like its own separate thing, but I feel like because literally I don't think they should change anything about the sets because I think the sets are fine.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't think it would be that much more expensive just to change the printing on some of the boxes versus I think way more people would buy them if it was called Lego Space. I don't know. That's just me.
As a collector too, I mean, it makes it a lot easier for me to talk about old little one-off series from the 90s. I can talk about Divers, I can talk about Outback, Rescue, like all these little things that would fall under the City umbrella had they been released today. So when I was talking about that Mission Control set a little earlier today, that's from the 2019 City like space theme, and that's kind of how I have to describe it. I have to give it the year. It's also a city set when they could have just given it its own name, like what AJ is saying here. It could be a space set, it could be Spaceport, or whatever it is, right? It would make it a lot easier for us as collectors as well too, in addition to the added incentive to buy them, which I think is a great point, and I never thought of that before.
I mean, I don't. Again, it's like nothing changes except literally the box art.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that they would sell better. Maybe in terms of but even if on Lego.com, just throw it in I don't even care if it's in like the city category. Like it could literally just be a sub theme.
Yeah.
I just think more people will be willing to buy it because that's just how collectors work. There's like they want a full series.
Yeah.
Versus like, there are a couple sets in a bigger pool. You know. I don't know. That was just a thought I had. Mm-hmm. But I think, I mean, anything else you want to talk about Lego Slugger before we move on?
No, I think that's kind of the gist of it there for the Lego system at least.
Perfect.
All right, Brendan,
Slugger.
we can finally get to
You ready?
What did Brendan want to talk
Ready
about?
for this one, Slugger?
I don't know if I'm ready.
No, well, I want to hear about your seizure machine. Can you explain the Vectrex to me?
Oh, yeah.
The seizure machine.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vectrex.
Man,
You pulled that out
in your video when you said it doesn't come the what is it the what's it the vector graphics system doesn't come across well on camera. That was an understatement.
Yeah, I know it looked.
I saw it.
looks
I
like a
saw
horror
it on
show.
on your video, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, what kind?" Slugger, in our Discord, you said you don't really play video games either. You're
Yeah.
gonna bring
Pulls
that up
out
as a
this
topic, and then you
ancient
drop the
machine.
video, and you're like, "Yeah, I play this like weird, like tube TV game that hurts your eyes when you watch it."
Right. Yeah,
That's video games.
yeah, but I don't like raster graphics. I only like vector graphics, right? So I only play vector based.
okay.
You know.
He only plays the vector based.
He
games.
pulled
I
out
got
this
it.
thing from the Stone Age and threw it on the table.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
let's,
dude.
let's talk
When
Vectrex then.
Slugger brought
Yeah.
that up, I was like, he built that himself. Like he designed that video game system. There's no way that's a real thing. But
Okay.
then I looked it up on Wikipedia, and apparently you have some merit.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It has a real thriving online community as well too. There's more games that have been made since the Vectrex was like retired, I guess, or if we're using Lego terms, after the Vectrex was discontinued. There's been more games made for the system than were made during its heyday back in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah,
By
yes. By
third parties or something?
Yeah, homebrew stuff. Yeah. So
I mean, it's not like we're.
Ooh,
it's not like
moonshine
it's
video
not like
games.
you gotta code Elden Ring for this thing. I feel like the coding is probably a little simpler.
Yeah,
That's true.
So the Vectrex, I think it was released in I want to say 1981, but it could have been 1980. now that I'm thinking
83.
of it.
83.
Or 82, sorry.
Oh,
83 in Europe and Japan.
North America 82, Europe 83, Japan 83. According to
Really?
Wikipedia.
Really?
An accurate source of information.
That's crazy. So it was only
Yep.
like around for a year, like before
and
the
it's a-
video game crash. That's crazy to me. But yeah, they estimate that there's like anywhere between maybe they made 600,000 units to maybe 400,000 units, and who knows how many still survive
Oh, wow.
today. Yeah, so like it
Yeah, just yours. You have the only one.
Yeah, what's the upkeep on that thing like? Is it like a taking care of an animal or something, where you gotta like water it every day?
Well, I've got a dust cover for it, and it's a very very sensitive little machine. Nothing's gone wrong with mine so far. Knock on wood. I bought it from an original owner who didn't have many hours on it, so I'm the second owner. And honestly, I haven't put that many hours into it either. It's not like I'm spending 6 hours a day playing the Vectrex. I kind of like my vision.
So,
I kind of like being able to see.
I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can. See
Doesn't want to
after
go to his
playing that.
daily seizure every time he plays it.
Yeah, that looks so. I assume you've at least played other traditional video games or seen them. What is the difference with the vector graphics?
Yeah.
Like, what is the what's the big difference visually? Like, because in your video you said in your trans neon green video.
Yeah,
you
I gotta
brought up
say,
the
Slugger, that was my
Vectrex.
favorite trans neon green video because you spent only like 10% of the video actually talking about trans neon green.
Yeah, it was like, trans neon green was a pretty cool color. Now here's Vectrex and Lego Friends.
Yeah. That was a strange video. Yeah, it was fun
It was
though.
good. I really liked the bit where you started using your phone and watching it and just kind of trailed off and it ran for like 30 seconds of just like your phone playing a video. I liked that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to record that as well too.
It added a nice bit of unease to the middle of the video before you got into the Vectrex.
Hey, I was not ready for you to just put this hunking piece of plastic on your table.
He just goes silent, starts breathing heavily
Silent,
as
so
he's watching his phone.
No,
through
because I
Lego
saw
Friends
saw
set.
like the epilepsy warning, and I was like, what?
Yeah, so
I was like, what is Slugger trying to do to us here?
in person, the flicker that you see in the video, it's not nearly as pronounced or even visible most of the time. It's caused by the cathode ray laser. Like there's a laser inside that fires at the screen at the tube, and it's moving at a certain like rate, or I guess you could call frame rate, refresh rate rather is probably the correct term, and it changes depending on what is on the screen. So visually demanding applications or games are more flicker based, like they're more prone to flicker, and it changes depending on what's being visualized there. So it's not like it's a constant like refresh rate or constant frame rate if you're talking about something with raster graphics, I guess. So usually less visually demanding things look better. But it's like little points of like starlight. It's almost like looking up into a constellation when you're playing it. It's really a unique experience because the lights are like they're fine points and it's little lasers. It's so cool. I don't know. It's really tough to express how different it is to play something like a Vectrex versus playing something like a Nintendo.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like something you can't capture on video either. I
mean, what camera were you using
I was
to
like,
record
there's
it?
no way this is even playable, but I guess if it's not as bad in real life, that would explain it.
Now, I'm curious, what camera did you use to record it?
I use a Canon Rebel T3i.
So yours is...
Yeah, so it's a DSLR. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a DSLR. Okay. Yeah, that one actually has like the function where it actually like snaps it. It's not like it's mirrorless where it's all digital based. Where it actually has like the you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe
you looked
Brendan
across the
doesn't
table
know.
at me like
you
I
know what I
cameras.
mean, because it's a DSLR, meaning it actually
After
has
we
to,
just went over your $40,000 opinion, you're like, you know what I mean.
When you're like capturing a photo and you change the shutter speed, it actually like does a physical thing.
Yeah.
Where, like,
yeah.
covers the sensor in the camera versus a mirrorless camera which does it all digitally. So I don't know if that would affect it or not, but
yeah,
sorry, my camera knowledge started coming out.
That's
you
good,
really
that's
did
good.
look across the table
I
at
looked
me
at
and go,
Brendan,
you know what I mean,
and
right?
I was like, oh, Brendan, you know the difference between DSLRs and mirrorless, and he looked at me as like,
I was like, bro, I barely even take pictures on my phone.
Yeah. Actually, that'd be a cool experiment, like recording it on your iPhone versus the DSLR and comparing it.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's better recordings online, and I've probably seen better ones as well too. But yeah, it's a nifty little machine. Very expensive these days. I mean, it was pretty expensive when I got into it too. But all the peripherals that you buy,
I have to say,
are expensive.
This is the unluckiest video game console of all time. They really released this in 82, 83, right before the crash, like the same year.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, what's your favorite game on it?
Yeah, so
Mario.
Uniquely, is it Mario?
Is it Mario?
I don't know of personally offhand of another console that does this, but uniquely, the Vectrex has a built-in game, meaning that if you have no cartridge in the slot, it boots up the game called Mindstorm, which is kind of like an Asteroids-esque sort of game. I actually think it's better than Asteroids personally.
I've heard of Mindstorm.
Yeah.
I think that's just a common thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so
it's like a common name.
Yeah, with regards to favorite game, that's one of my favorites, honestly. The built-in game is a total banger. It's great, and it's a good one to show off the power of the Vectrex really easily. It's the one in the video where you can I think I have a still image of a ship like shooting a mine, and it's blowing up in the video, and you can see the lasers kind of doing their thing there. So visually it's very, very cool. A lot of the old 80s games are favorites of mine. There's one called Web Wars. I was playing Pole Position in the video there, which is obviously like a Namco arcade game that was transferred over. Yep. And then
I know Pole Position. I've played it on Namco machines.
Yeah. There's quite a few games that are on the Vectrex that are either based on the original arcade version or are just direct ports of the original arcade version as well too. So I don't know if Starhawk was one of them, but like Web Wars, I think, is based on a game called Tempest, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously there's Pole Position, like I mentioned. Bedlam was another one as well too. I think Bedlam is a game.
I know Bedlam.
Yeah, and Berserk is on the Vectrex as well too. So that's another arcade classic there.
Interesting. So is
cool.
this the only game console you play?
I'm not really into raster.
Not a fan of Mario.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's definitely the most unique game console I have. It's probably the oldest thing I've got that's earlier than I guess, like what PlayStation 3 even, right? So I don't really collect.
So that's earlier than the PlayStation 1.
That's definitely. Slugger, I guarantee you that console was earlier than the PlayStation 3.
The Vectrex is up there with like the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess I mean for what I personally have.
Slugger's a big Atari guy.
Yeah. Like, I don't have any of those. I never played old Nintendos or Ataris or Intellivisions or anything like that. So, yeah.
Oh, and television. That's a
good thing we were born when the PlayStation 4 came out, so we could play that.
Yeah, so we got good games with good graphics.
Yeah. Like, the PlayStation 4 is a great console. I won't lie.
Well, we have Xbox, so we actually...
I have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's different. You didn't buy it yourself.
So what? I still played games on it. I've still experienced the console. It's not like I...
Nah,
Xbox, it's not like I have it in a
is the best
display
one,
case.
though. Everyone knows that.
It's like a relic.
So
Xbox is
I'm going to talk...
negligible with differences.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Vectrex here, too. Just to add a little bit more to it, the buzz that you hear, like because in the video I turn it on, you hear that buzzing noise as it kind of warms up. That buzz is electronical, like it's electric hum that's being created by the unit, and it's because when they originally designed the Vectrex, they originally had some shielding, some electrical shielding on the inside of the unit, but when they sent it off to Taiwan or to China, wherever they had it manufactured, they didn't manufacture that part correctly, so all the units that came out had this buzz, and the buzz was never a part of the original design, so the unit just constantly buzzes at you, so it really is an assault on the senses as you play the Vectrex. However, there are third-party kits that you can buy to get rid of the buzz, to eliminate the buzz from the unit, and some of the later series, I think, of Vectrex, like higher serial numbers, don't have the buzz in them. I think that's how that goes. But if something should go wrong in your Vectrex, you need to get a soldering gun and do some electrical work.
Soldering
gun. Have you tried just shaking it?
No, heavens no.
Slugger, are you sure you didn't try turning it on and then off, off and then on again?
No, AJ, we're talking about 80s here. You got to just blow on the cartridge.
That's true. Just blow in the general direction of it.
Yeah, I don't want to understate how fearful I am of breaking it, because it's fragile. I don't want to mess with it too much.
And it's not like they still make them either.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I can completely understand being fragile and being careful with it.
Yep.
Because it's like video game history and entertainment at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's like this belongs in a museum, but at the same time it
belongs in a museum. That's pretty funny. So I know you kind of said you don't play video games. You said there's a reason for that. Do you want to get into that at all?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever really kind of talked about that too much. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's the weird things that your brain does to categorize the activities that you do. It's like, I mean, the reason why I don't really watch a lot of movies is because it feels like as I'm sitting there, I'm just wasting my time. I should be doing something else, and so. During my dark age, I guess that something else was playing video games, right? So, because at least in a video game, you're progressing through the level, you're collecting items or whatever it is. It feels like you're doing something, right? But now with regards to like Lego and making videos and stuff like that, that's obviously in my brain, it's even more productive than sitting and playing a video game. So, anytime that in these last couple of years where I've sat down and tried to play a video game, it just kind of feels like, hey, you know what? I should really be like working on a Slugger video right now, because that's more productive than what I'm doing. So it's just kind of it's just been a matter of like I don't feel the productivity of modern gaming or of gaming in general. And speaking to modern gaming in particular, there's just it's the games that have been coming out have just been worse and worse based on like what I grew up with. Like they don't recapture the same sort of magic that they used to. And I think a lot of players, especially like Call of Duty players, like myself, that grew up playing tons of Call of Duty ever since the first one. I know.
Wait a minute.
Crazy, right?
Wait, you played Call of Duty?
Yo.
Wait, and then you felt that you were no longer productive? Are you sure it's not a skill issue, Slugger?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't realize you were a Call of Duty player. Are you sure this isn't a skill problem that you're having, and that's why you don't play?
I was pretty darn good at Call
Slugger
of
got
Duty,
sick of being destroyed by 10-year-olds.
I don't know. Have you experienced skill-based matchmaking yet? It might change your opinion.
No, it's a rough.
What was the last Call of Duty you played,
Skill based matchmaking is very humbling.
Black Ops 3 probably. So
that's actually that's more recent than I thought you were gonna say.
No, sorry, no, Modern Warfare. I really enjoyed Modern Warfare, like the newest one. The newest one.
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2.
Wait, Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 2019?
2019. Yeah.
2019.
Wait,
that's
hold
the
on,
better one.
hold on. Slugger.
We could have been playing with Slugger.
Yeah,
this
what did you
whole
play
time.
on?
So if you play 2019, it's cross-platform.
Oh,
doesn't
that's
matter.
true. Yeah, we may have crossed paths before.
That's cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah, out of the millions and millions of players.
But
I was a big Black Ops 3 player too.
Yeah, I guess
a big game for us,
that's
Black Ops 3.
kind of like a good storybook run there, right? From the first Modern Warfare to the most recent, like Modern Warfare, I guess, or 2019. That's a good like almost 15-year stretch there of playing Call of Duty games every year. Yeah.
Wow, I don't know why, but this is really.
I can't believe we never talked about that before.
Yeah, this is really coming out of nowhere. I never tagged you as a Call of Duty player. I don't know why.
Yeah. That was the last game I thought you were about to mention.
Yeah, I was like, I figured you'd like good games. not the stuff we play.
I really thought Slugger was above us. I didn't think he'd stoop down to our level.
Down to our level of Call of Duty.
Yep.
It's all right. It's important to stoop once in a while.
There's something that you can get from Call of Duty that you don't. That I don't find in other games, and it's
very
it's
angry.
Kind of, well, no, and I personally don't get angry at video games or whatever. I have a lot of fun with them when I do play them. But
you're playing them wrong then.
Yeah, I'm doing something wrong.
Slugger, right? you still play? We should play a game together.
Yeah.
All right. We're doing all right, Slugger. Hope you're ready. We're gonna load up Black Ops 2. We're gonna start doing some quick scoping private matches.
Okay. Yeah, I probably have Black Ops 2.
Get ready to get
here.
very.
Yeah.
Get ready to get angry.
Yeah.
Get ready to get furious.
Yeah, we can go
next.
play on.
We're gonna do a
Standoff?
competition.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a free for all.
Yeah.
Oh, standoff. Oh, look at that. A man of culture too. He knows the DLC maps.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's a good
all right,
one.
Slugger. Next live stream, we're all playing Call of Duty together.
We should. Can we all play Call of Duty on your next live stream?
Yeah. Do you have an Xbox?
No.
What do you play on?
I like PlayStations. I've never owned an Xbox.
Ow! We can still play. It's fine. Call of Duty's cross-platform.
There you go.
You're right. We can play Modern Warfare. We can play the 2019 Modern Warfare.
We can play 2019 Modern Warfare. It's cross-platform.
Yeah.
That'll be our next bet. How angry if we make Slugger angry enough, he's got to make another video on Clutch Powers.
Losers gotta watch Clutch Powers on 0.5 speed.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it in half the speed.
Half the speed makes it double the fun.
It's like a Lord of the Rings movie.
Torture. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I really like the head fakes you can do with folks in Call of Duty, like you duck behind a corner or whatever, and they're when like someone's following you or whatever. All that sort of stuff is a lot of fun. Like playfully messing with people, I guess is what I mean. Like not being mean and not like going on the mic and yelling at people or anything like that. Obviously, I don't do that. But
you mean most players do?
Yeah.
I don't know that you've correctly expressed yourself in Call of Duty. Then if you haven't gotten on the mic and just laid into some 10-year-old kid.
Slugger's that one guy who's always like at the top of the leaderboard, but just doesn't have his mic plugged in, just doesn't speak, but he's like getting like
top
50
of the
kills.
And then just at the very end, he's just like, "Good game, guys." That's it.
Yeah.
Then everyone starts screaming at him.
I do okay. I got a few nukes back in the day, MW2. Yeah, that's
what?
Yeah.
He's bragging. He's oh wow.
It's like, yeah, I was an all right player.
This is not at all how I thought this conversation was gonna go. What's the most recent game you played then?
In terms of
Modern
video
Warfare?
games. Oh, like
any video game.
for any video game. I mean, we've got a Switch here. Like my partner and I play some of those games, like Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. That's a fantastic game right there.
It's a good choice.
You excited for the new one?
Honestly, no. To be honest,
No.
Like they're. It looks like they're recycling so much content. I'm worried about it, to be honest.
Yeah, probably because it was super popular. They don't.
Yeah, because they hit a home run with that game.
Yeah,
like just copy paste.
Like
for another one.
One of the main things about Breath of the Wild that is so compelling is that you're learning the world. Like the world, the environment is your enemy in some regards. Like you're climbing in mountainous areas and you gotta dress warmly and all that sort of stuff. Like all those aspects of the game are really compelling. And if they recycle a lot of the world and a lot of the mechanics into the new game, then you're playing the same game again, right? Like it's not going to be different enough, I think, to be compelling. So I don't know. I'm worried.
But it'll sell.
Yeah, it'll still sell like
of
gold.
course,
sell
of course.
a ton of
Yeah.
copies.
Like Nintendo can repackage a Mario game from the N64 and it'll sell, right? So it's
Yeah,
that's
basically.
what they've been doing for the last.
Did you play the new
25
Pokemon
years.
game?
I really know nothing.
I heard it was terrible.
I know nothing about Pokemon. When kids were playing Pokemon back in the school ground, I was watching Star Trek, so that's I missed Pokemon.
Well,
yeah.
don't worry. Eventually,
hold
when Lego
on.
gets the license
have you
to
ever
Pokemon,
played any amount of any Pokemon game, like even a single battle?
No, like I know nothing about Pokemon. Like I honestly
Okay.
I don't even understand the appeal of the franchise. So like
Well, it's virtually the same as I'm sure whatever you can imagine.
Did you know that Pokemon's the most successful franchise in human
I know,
history?
and that's what I don't understand. Like is it just that they're cute?
kinda-
They're
I
cute
think that's-
animals?
I think that's-
Is
it's
that
'cause
what
of
it
the-
is? Like,
It's because it appeals to kids.
No, it's 'cause it's children.
It's like adult collecting, but for kids.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Weird. Yeah.
they have to instill the bad habits in you young.
Yeah, basically.
Just like with loot crates in video games and the
Nah.
CMF bags, it's
Eventu-
just to teach you that gambling is actually a good thing and you could win really big if you try hard enough.
Yeah. Don't worry. Your Pokemon card might be worth $100,000.
Yeah, just like Mr. Gold, remember him? Where it's like just gamble and maybe you'll get them.
Maybe you'll
$5
get 'em.
bucks at $5 a play.
Nah, Slugger. When Lego eventually gets the license to Pokemon, I'm expecting a full series review from you.
Yeah, you got to review all 10 million Pokemon.
Yeah, I want a full series review.
Yeah, I'm definitely the wrong.
You would
slug
probably
for
you would
that.
probably give the best take. You'd probably give the best take on it.
Yeah, it's honestly most objective
It doesn't matter.
opinion.
It doesn't matter if you've played any. You could play one battle. You could play the first battle in the newest game, and it's virtually the same as the original game.
Yeah, except it'll probably
the
crash.
series is unchanged.
It'll probably crash though in the new game.
Except the newer ones are more poorly made.
It's bonkers. I don't understand why people buy it, and I mean it's one of the reasons I've more or less got out of modern gaming as well too, is because games are sold to us as little piecemeal chunks. Then you gotta pay for the DLC, or I mean, like the Overton window has left me behind so far. Because like in Black Ops 3, I'll take that as an example. There's this like they call it a battle pass now, I guess. I'm not familiar with it beyond just playing it in that
That's
game.
all Fortnite's fault.
Yeah. And so
Fortnite is responsible for that one.
That's a scenario.
It's more
where,
egregious in Call of Duty because you have to pay $60 for it. At least Fortnite's free.
Yeah,
that's true. You got to pay $60 for the game, then $10 for the content.
But people spend more money
$10
on
for the
Fortnite
content
skins.
that comes out every 10 weeks.
But people spend way more money on Fortnite skins than they ever would on a game.
What I don't understand, and like what really is the thing that I don't get is like you're paying $10 for the right to start unlocking the content. Like it's not you're paying for the content. Like now you have to grind away at the game
you don't
to
even
unlock
get
it. It's
now
to
you
me,
can
it's
play.
madness. It's madness. And so like the old
It only makes sense if the game was free.
Yeah, it's just pay to play.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if the game was free like Fortnite, then like you're really only paying money for cosmetics at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Call of Duty system because it's just
You
like,
pay
oh,
$60
you want
and
a
then you also
progression
pay $10
system?
on top of that.
$10. Fork over your $10.
Well, actually, that's not
for
true.
progression.
Games are $70 now. So
That's right.
they finally made the switch to 70 from 60
Yeah.
after like 20 years of $60.
They're a little bit
Yeah,
more
and
in
with-
Canada. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Canada has like that terrible currency and everything's upcharged there.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like the last like complete game that I bought that like was all on the disc available right at launch was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, discs! I've never heard of this
Whoa, you
newfangled
played Red Dead
disc.
Well, 2?
Oh, of course, yeah, I love it, fantastic.
Oh,
You
wow,
played the whole story?
That's probably Brendan's
Yeah,
favorite.
Isn't
game of all
it? That
time.
is my second favorite game of all time.
nice, nice.
Oh my god, it's fantastic.
It's a good
That's
game.
so
It-
awesome.
I've played through the whole thing. It's quite a.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's a really good
It's as far as like story goes of like a single person, that's probably the best one in video games.
game. Definitely up there.
Because I mean, Halo. We've talked about this. Halo Reach is my favorite game.
That's
but
my favorite
That's
game of all
that's
time,
also a
too.
story driven by a setting, whereas Red Dead Redemption is carried entirely by the cast.
Interesting. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Red Dead Redemption Chapter 3, when you go to the when they kidnap one of the kids, right?
Oh, and they kidnap Jack, and you
Yeah,
go to the, and
they
you go to
kidnap
that
Jack,
yeah,
and you have to
go
go
that
burn
southern
down the
woman's
house.
and burn it down.
And like you have it all lined up, and you have like the torches and the music. Oh, that was one of the most. That was like one of the most vivid gaming memories I'll ever have.
The first time you do that. I mean, all of it too. Even beginning to end, the whole game is so good.
The Stand Unshaken, the song when you're riding the horse back in
right
chapter 5,
right before the game ends.
the guy's like going off in the background as you're riding the horse. To get back
even if you haven't played the game, I won't spoil the ending here, but you really ought to go play it if you haven't.
Such a great game.
Does it get the Slugger seal of approval?
Yeah, honestly, it does. I think it's great, and I think Red Dead Redemption 2 shows that like I don't think it's been quite topped yet. Like I know Cyberpunk was coming in guns ablazing, thinking like they're gonna take over the world, and obviously we saw how that turned out. So I think Rockstar looks like real pros in that regard, where they make it look easy, and then all these other companies try to do it, and it turns out, hey, it's actually not that easy to do this.
I don't know. I think Cyberpunk's a bit of a bad example because before that, CD Projekt Red did The Witcher 3, which was pretty much universally acclaimed as an amazing game.
That's true.
Even Cyberpunk's not bad now. It's just that they were like, oh,
they just jumped the gun.
They jumped the gun because they're like, oh, the game doesn't work. Because if the game fully works, the game's pretty good.
Yeah. When it runs the way it's supposed to.
Honestly, if you haven't seen it, Slugger, I highly recommend Cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix. It's like the anime for Cyberpunk. It is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen, and it made me go back and play the game. And the game is definitely better. The game is a lot better when you don't crash every time you try to play it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I tried to play it on the Xbox One.
You tried to play it on the Xbox One. I played it on the Series X, which is at least like slightly more.
Yeah. Well, I've played it on the Series S now, and it runs a lot better.
Yeah, it runs a lot better on the consoles too.
I mean, I played it on a PC, and it still was bad. I don't know. So
yeah. The difference with the PC is that everyone's PC is just like its specs are so different versus on a console everything's uniform.
It's true.
But honestly, for Rockstar, the main issue about Rockstar is they just take 10 years to make video games.
Yeah, but they make really good games.
Yeah,
they do. No, I'm not saying it's like a bad thing, but honestly, I guess GTA 5 and 6 is probably the biggest example because like they're just milking GTA 5 for every penny.
What you mean GTA Online?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. They're milking GTA Online because I've never played the GTA story except for the first mission.
Really? Oh, it's actually good.
I know it is. But it is. I've only played the first couple missions, but really everyone only plays GTA Online. They just spend hundreds of dollars in shark cards, and that's why they don't make GTA 6 because GTA Online just makes so much money.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If they keep making good games like Red Dead Redemption, though, I'll allow others to sacrifice themselves into the pit of GTA Online.
True, but GTA 6 is going to be an interesting case study because it's the first GTA they're going to release after GTA Online. So it's like, how much emphasis are they actually going to put on the story part of the game?
Oh, probably all of it. They'll probably just re-release GTA Online, and you get to keep all your stuff and just keep updating it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
There's no way they're going to revamp it. With how long the GTA Online has been running, people are going to be angry if they lose all their stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how if they're just gonna do a direct transfer where it's on a new map, or if it's like its own. I honestly don't know how they're gonna do it, but it'll be different than Red Dead because they did release Red Dead Online, but Red Dead Online's still very beta to me.
No, it just sucks.
Well, it's because you can't get half the stuff you can get in GTA Online. You can't get in Red Dead because it takes place
with houses
in
and
West.
flying cars and all these different guns and stuff. The Wild West is much more limited, and the gameplay itself is more grounded than GTA's. There's not as much like wacky, ridiculous stuff. I mean, the GTA 5 story is more on par with like Yakuza than Red Dead Redemption.
That's true.
You guys were talking like favorite.
Any other games you want to shout out, Slugger?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was wondering what you guys were thinking as like what are your maybe we can do like top 3s or something like that in terms of video games.
Well, we already said Halo Reach, but that's also nostalgia because that was pretty much my first game I've ever played. In terms of like actually getting into it, I don't know. Well, we already did Halo and Red Dead.
Yeah, Halo and Red. I don't know. Number 3, I guess Fallout New Vegas.
Oh wow, yeah. Oldie but a goldie.
I'm a big Fallout guy.
I gotta pull up.
Yeah.
Remember we wrote these down.
Oh yeah, you gotta pull up
time.
your list because we made AJ make a list because he put Fallout 4 as his #1 game on the one he made in like.
That's not true. It was
no, on the list you made in like 2015.
It was number 2. It was number 2, not number 1.
That's still unacceptable.
No, you're just mad. You're just a hater.
Why?
Fallout 4 is
you
good.
haven't even played the better one. You haven't even played New Vegas.
Yeah, I have played like first half an hour of it.
That doesn't count. That's the intro. That's like the first cutscene.
I don't know. What did I put up? Yeah, Dark Souls 3 is probably one of my top 5
interesting.
games of all time I've ever played.
Yeah.
Really enjoy that. Titanfall 2 and Far Cry 4 is up there.
Nice. Nice.
I have Subnautica. If you've never played Subnautica,
I never really got into that one. I tried it, but it didn't quite click for me. But I'm gonna feel like a geezer
and Shadow
talking
War.
about mine. Cause,
what are yours?
For Lord of the Rings, Gothra and Shadow War.
Yeah, Shadow War is good.
Yeah. Because like these are all like 5 to 10 years after most of my favorite games. So we're talking about favorite video game story, and I think mine is within this game called Zone of the Enders 2: The Second Runner is what it was called, and it was made by Hideo Kojima's team back when they were doing Metal Gear 3, and so they kind of did those two games simultaneously. Hideo Kojima was kind of more overseeing Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and the other team was kind of going concurrently with that. And it's amazing. It's an amazing game, and I love it. It's great.
Interesting.
I've never seen this game.
I've never heard of this game.
I have it pulled up on Wiki now. Not that I'm going to read the whole thing
woefully
now, but
unpopular. Yeah, woefully unpopular. And they've never really been able to successfully reboot the series or anything like that. They've done like remasters. You can get it on the PlayStation 4 now, and that's actually a pretty good version. I still think the definitive version is the PlayStation 2 copy, just because they kind of meddled with some scenarios in the game. They don't give you enough options to turn them off and stuff like that. Anyways, that's getting into the weeds though. But some of the other games I really enjoy or enjoyed. Alpha Centauri is a big one for me for PC gaming. It's basically like Civilization, made by Brian. What's his last name? I can't remember his last name now.
You mean Sid Meier's?
Yes, it's got Sid Meier's name on it, but he wasn't really the lead designer of it. It was the other guy, his right hand guy, Brian. It escapes me, but
Brian Reynolds.
That's it, Brian Reynolds. Yes, Brian Reynolds. And honestly, Alpha Centauri hasn't been topped by any of the Civilization games that have come afterwards. There are features in Alpha Centauri that have never been introduced in any of the following Civilization games. It's crazy how in-depth and philosophical the game is. It's a really crazy experience. The only thing that's lacking about it are the visuals. Like, so if there was just a visual update, an overhaul.
Well, that's because it's a 1999 game.
Yeah, but even for 1999, like it's pretty rough. That's like this the same era as StarCraft, and StarCraft would be on my list as well
like
too.
Halo 1.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
Halo 1 only a year or two later.
Yeah.
Halo 1 does hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
Not when you play it on Legendary.
No, I meant the graphics.
No, I know.
so
like unfair games I've ever played.
These three ones that I've mentioned here are all games that I like including StarCraft as well too. I played a lot of StarCraft as a kid. They're all games I played when I was young.
A lot of science fiction.
Yeah, a lot of science fiction, right? And so I've got another science fiction one that
I think the Slugger guy likes science fiction. I don't know.
Well, and a lot of these also seem to be a lot of these seem to be like big picture stories too.
Yeah, he likes science fiction, but doesn't like the #1 science fiction franchise.
Yeah. So the last one, I know I'm going into top 4 here. I'm just gonna throw another one into the mix here. It's one that I didn't play as a kid.
5 or 6.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't play this one as a kid.
You got 2 more Slugger top 5.
Yeah, we're just sharing.
Right. So
this is an open space to talk about your feelings.
I only got into it as an adult, so this one isn't like nostalgia goggles the same way the other ones might be, but System Shock 2 is the name of it, and wow, what a game.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, like have you ever picked up an audio?
I guess this is in our like era of games, so it would make sense that I would have like heard of it.
IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. That means it's at least like a 6.
Like if you've ever picked up an audio log in a video game before, it's because it happened in System Shock 2 first, right? Like it is such a groundwork game for gaming in general. Like it's like a Deus Ex in a lot of ways in that regard too. Like the original Deus Ex just like laid so much foundation for gaming. Yeah.
I've seen gameplay of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at like gameplay pictures. I am like sort of vaguely familiar with it. Like I've seen it. I don't know the story or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I looked it up, one of the first things that showed up was Deus Ex.
Yeah, like if you've played
related to
like BioShock or Dead Space, those are basically just kind of riffs on System Shock 2.
Oh, BioShock's a good one.
I mean, yeah, fifth one to round out of the top 5.
We got one more Slugger.
Oh, sorry. One more. This is more modern, I guess. I will say Prey. The game that came out
Bethesda, right?
What was that, 2017? Prey 2017? Because I know there was one from 2012. I never played that one, but I really enjoyed Prey, and that to me was the first game that made it feel like we were taking the next step into next gen, like from retiring the PS3 going to the PS4. That was the game that really showed me that, like, okay, this is what the console can do. Even in little details of being able to read like the sign above a door and things like that, like little things, like where the fidelity of the system was now influencing the world building of the game. That to me was really cool, and I started to really believe in the system at that point.
Yeah, and at that point in the console switch also, I've noticed playing games from the last gen, the PS3, Xbox 360 era, as compared to like the Xbox One, PS4 games, and even the new next gen PS5 Series SX games, the world building became like way more believable. Like going into that next generation of consoles with the PS4 and the Xbox One, the world went from like kind of crude looking to like a very immersive place.
Absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of which, you ever played a VR game, Slugger?
Yeah, the PlayStation VR. Yeah.
Do you have that?
My brother does, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. I get a little motion sick with some of the movement when you have free movement of your character or whatever.
You don't get motion sick from your Vectrex, but you do from VR.
Yeah, I forgot. You don't get motion sick. You just have a brain ball seizure.
You guys will lose your mind when I tell you this, but the Vectrex had a VR system back in the day. It was called...
Is like that? What's that one really infamous one?
No, the Nintendo one. That's
the Nintendo one.
VR.
That's the red.
Right. No.
Yeah, where you can play all 10 games in red.
This one is called the 3D Imager. It's really expensive to get an original one these days. And basically, what it was is it was a goggle headset that you put on your head, and it had a little pinwheel, like a disc with colors and translucency with these colors that spun really fast in front of your eyes, and that made the visuals of the Vectrex pop out of the screen. It's a crazy looking contraption. I've never tried one in real life because I don't own one, but apparently that was Puco-vision all the way. You'd play it for a minute and then just throw up. Right?
This is like really...
Oh, yeah.
This is really primitive,
when you
like
describe
3D.
the Vectrex vector graphics as a laser that gets shot into the screen, then putting goggles on your face that focus it into your eyes, I can't imagine that you feel very well after that.
Yeah.
This is a great way to lose your eyesight.
Just burn a hole right through the retina.
Yeah. So
I can't see colors so good anymore, but at least I have the Vectrex VR.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well,
wow, you weren't joking about these Vectrex game systems being expensive. I'm looking at $1,000 minimum. Games are like $150.
I'm very lucky I was able to buy mine for $300 back when I did.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
You got it for less than the new consoles.
I made out like a bandit, Slugger.
Yeah.
You really did. These are like crazy expensive. There's Mindstorm desktop art for $46.
What? That's crazy.
I searched up the what's the VR headset called again?
3D Imager is what it's called. 3D Imager.
Because I'm looking at shop because I'm trying to see how hard it is to actually get. Oh yeah, the first thing. There's one listing on eBay and it's $3,500.
Yeah.
And there's no other listings.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
There's one listing and it's a down payment on a car.
Yeah,
you would be shocked at how much homebrew stuff has been made for the Vectrex. I don't even remember some of the things, their specific names. There's these things called like I think it's Pytrex, and there's Vec Fever, which expand upon the memory capacity of the game of the unit itself, the console itself, so you can play much more advanced things. But then I saw at a convention, like I wasn't at the convention, but I saw pictures of this convention where two folks had hooked up their Vectrexes somehow. There's no like serial port or anything or whatever. I don't know how they did it, but they were playing some sort of local multiplayer game with two Vectrexes plugged into each other. It blew my mind. These people are engineers in what they're doing with this stuff. It's crazy.
That's totally some at-home monitoring.
No kidding.
Then again, I suppose if I'd expect anybody to be tinkering with something like the Vectrex, it would be an engineer.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I couldn't imagine your casual gamer hopping on their Vectrex and being like, me and my friend are gonna modify our $1,000 video game system from the '80s to play multiplayer games and expand the memory on it. I don't think that's the casual audience that's doing that.
Yeah. So I was thinking we should probably wrap up this episode for you guys, because it's getting pretty close to being the longest one, I'm sure, at this point.
That's true. What our last one with you was 2 hours 15. So yeah, we were looking to keep it in roughly the same ballpark.
Okay. I've got maybe one last talking point if that's cool with you guys, and maybe.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Sure.
Do you want to go? I know there was one topic you wanted to cover, so we didn't really get a chance to yet, so.
Sounds good. Yeah. So since the last time we sat down and we chatted together, obviously there's been the channel, the Slugger's channel's kind of taken off, so there's a lot of foot traffic there now that wasn't there before, and in that growth, you get a lot of new eyes on the channel. You get a lot of new people looking at it, and a lot of folks coming into it, like, it feels like halfway through. It's like walking in halfway through a movie, haven't seen the whole, picture from the beginning, and so you get a lot of confusion from some folks when they come in and they don't necessarily have the necessary background to fully get what's going on. So a lot of times, I think some of the things I talk about on the channel seem like wow, this guy's crazy, like he knows so much about Lego, but it really isn't true, to that extent, where I think if you have the scaffolding and the building blocks behind you, the stuff I talk about, usually makes a lot of sense, I think, at least. I don't think this is like the super intellectualism is what I'm trying to say. I think this isn't something that is incomprehensible. It's just, it's built upon. There's steps to get to that level of understanding with Lego and whatnot, and anyone can come along and follow those steps and get there. But more so, what I want to talk about here is getting comments of maybe a negative nature, because there's been tons of positivity and stuff like that generated from the community. But obviously, you're gonna get folks that leave mean and nasty comments from time to time. It's bound to happen. And I wanted to share, I guess, with you guys, and maybe for the listeners at home as well too, just like an experience that I've been having with this, where you get someone that comments something that's maybe rude or is insensitive, and I've been experimenting with being nice about it and commenting nice things as a response, trying to see them at their level and whatnot, and talk to them like they're human beings on the other side of the screen, because that's what they are. And I've been so surprised with the replies I get from that, because usually the next day they'll come back and honestly, more often than not, they'll say something like, sorry I flew off the handles. Like I was in a bad mood yesterday. So sorry for the way I phrased that. I really appreciate your videos, blah, 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 that sort of thing. And it's been insightful for me to see this, where it's kind of like that proof in the pudding of like folks are generally decent if you treat them right, and it's been a really cool, enlightening experience for me to see online discourse actually be a positive thing for a change, right? And all it takes is just returning anger with kindness at the end of the day. So I thought I'd just kind of bring that up a little bit. It's been cool. it's been really neat.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I mean, obviously the whole like being anonymous and commenting has always plagued the internet for pretty much since its inception. Obviously, like most people will say things that they would never say to a person's face.
Yep, totally.
Just because the mask of being anonymous is definitely, you know, it has its benefits and drawbacks certainly. But yeah, you've grown a lot. Obviously, it's impossible to ignore the growth, and I know you mentioned this a little bit in the first episode. You're like, you said you're a little afraid of like the growth because then the small community kind of goes away in a sense, which is definitely, there's definitely like merit to that.
Yeah.
But obviously the way the YouTube algorithm works and just the exponential growth of like the more views and like, I think a lot of YouTubers definitely fall into the trap of like, I'm gonna appeal, or I'm just gonna basically just play the algorithm instead of making like good content, and then people kind of
like we do,
yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like they'll kind of go away from what they originally did, or what they'll do just to farm views basically,
right?
And then that definitely alienates any original audience that they had. I think you've done an excellent job of keeping the channel true to its original roots, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you.
I wouldn't want to see it any other way.
No, I think, and honestly, I think you deserve all the success that you've gotten.
All this success was already coming to you. We knew that from the first time you came on this podcast that you were going to be getting this kind of growth.
I'm so happy that we can say we're OG fans now.
Yeah, guys. Just a reminder, we liked Slugger before he was popular.
That makes us better.
Yeah, we're better. We're gatekeeping now.
Gatekeeping Slugger.
Yeah, you know Slugger. I think what you said there it's an insightful note to end on, because a lot of people on the internet don't react to negativity with kindness like you do, and I guess you must just have a good soul. But I would like to tell you, if there are people leaving negative comments, I'm a hater, and this is a channel that thrives on hate comments. That we ask for them at the end of our videos, and I will go and I'll hate on anybody that's hating on you, Slugger. Don't worry, I'll get right there in the trenches with you, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way," and I'm like, "You know what?
You can do that on your personal account.
Don't worry, Slugger. I'll stoop so that you can stay the bigger man."
It's all good. It's all good. And honestly, I think part of the secret to it might sound callous, but I think if you're going out on a limb and you're creating content on the internet, you have to be willing to just let other people's opinions of your stuff just roll off you. At the end of the day, it's not something that's going to change your life. How strangers on the internet think of your content, right? Whether that be positive or negative. So a lot of the times, even if it is something that's really mean that comes up in a comment, it's whatever, it's just someone's opinion. I don't even know this person. It doesn't matter to me, right? So I think it's important to just remember why you're doing it. And for me, at the end of the day, like it's still a hobby to me. It's just a hobby. I'm doing it for me first and foremost. I'm having fun with it, and it's a hobby. It's not a service, right? For folks that tune in. I'm glad they enjoy it, and I'm glad folks stick around. And some folks will tell me that, oh, your video style has changed, or you really lost me on that episode. I'm no longer a subscriber. And I'm just like, that's fine. It's fine. It's free content on the internet, and that's how it functions, right? If it's not something that you're currently watching anymore, there's no obligation to continue watching it, right? It's free content. You can do whatever you want.
That's true.
That's the right attitude to have, especially because I know a lot of big YouTubers will just say, like, I just don't read the comments anymore. I just ignore them. I can't bring myself to look at it, because then you get sucked in, and it's mostly, especially because a lot of big YouTubers, like, the comment section will just be, like, 90% negativity, because, like, they'll thrive on that.
Well, because it's also people that go for the low-hanging fruit, whereas Slugger, with you, not to make your ego too big, but you doing it as a hobby has definitely shown through, and it's kept I think still a very positive audience, even as it's grown bigger.
Yeah, I agree.
You have this production value that shows that you actually care about what you put out there, with your videos, and that was one of the big draws as to why I wanted to reach out and have and bring you on for the first episode of the podcast was because it was like, oh, look at this guy that like we watch Lego YouTubers, we collect Legos, but we've never seen a guy that puts like this kind of production value and love into the videos. Just, as a hobby to entertain people, not even as a, this isn't even his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really impressive, and it's great that, you've managed to keep almost the same kind of small audience feel to your videos and your live streams, even though you've grown astronomically since we last spoke.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm very thankful for it. Those days, that was back when Slugger was underrated. Now we live in the time of Slugger is overrated, right? So
Slugger is Slugger is not overrated.
Don't worry, Slugger. You got until at least you hit 1 million subscribers till you're overrated.
Yeah, we've had a few battles in this episode, but I'll die on that hill. You're not an overrated YouTuber, Slugger.
Thanks,
Don't
guys.
worry, Slugger. When you hit 1 million subscribers and we're sitting
Slugger
there,
to 1 million to the moon.
We'll officially be adults by then.
Yeah, we'll finally be old enough to vote in Canada.
Finally be old enough to vote in Canada. We'll be like, I remember when Slugger had 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I remember the Slugger 1,552 subscriber special. That's not the right one.
Now he's at 1 million.
1,012. Yeah.
1,012.
Come on, man. Not fake fan.
Damn it. Fake
fan.
Fake fan. No.
Hey, at least Slugger doesn't get hit by the new YouTube rule changes like we do.
That's because he doesn't swear and talk about cigarettes like we do. Like I do. Sorry, I won't put the blame on you for that one, AJ. That's all me.
No, I'm sure you've seen the new YouTube rules and how basically you say any swear word at any point in the video and the whole thing's dead, like gone.
I'm not a fan of a lot of the YouTube policies personally, but
especially because if you're doing if you try to cover news.
Yeah, you're toast.
Nah, you can't. They just won't let you.
Yeah.
You know what though? Let's be careful here because I don't want to end on a negative note.
That's true.
We just had a real positive note from Slugger, and I don't want to start ripping on YouTube like we did in the Family Guy episode. All right, we can save the low hanging fruit for when we don't have YouTube royalty with us.
Oh, ha ha ha.
All right, next episode, guys. Back to business.
Yeah, then we're back. Don't worry, we're back to business with all the obscenities you can imagine.
We're keeping it nice and peaceful for this episode.
Yeah, I kept it PC for this one. AJ convinced me to keep a lid on it.
But yeah, Slugger, just obviously want to thank you so much for coming on again. You really don't have to, but
no, it's my pleasure, guys. My pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is always. It's always a blast to have you on and do an episode.
We really enjoy talking with you. It's like meeting my hero.
It really is.
Meeting my YouTube hero.
Well, it was interesting to go from a point of, finding his channel and being like, hey, check this guy out. He's kind of neat. Like, look at this cool content he does. To being like, he's we might be able to contact him, to really actually getting to be in touch with him, and now getting to watch you grow from the perspective of someone other than just a fan now.
Yeah.
It feels like not to boast, but it feels like we've been elevated above the ranks of most of your fans.
He's a fellow collaborator.
Yeah, the legions. Now we're on the same level.
Yep.
It's our fellow collaborator. Honestly, I wish you all the love and success. I mean, you deserve 1 million subscribers, definitely. And
he deserves more than 1 million.
I'll be celebrating you with every milestone along the way.
Yeah, we'll celebrate together, guys. That's great. Yeah,
we'll celebrate together. I'm still waiting. I'm excited. We're doing it. We're doing that Call of Duty live stream now.
Yeah, we definitely should do a Call of Duty live stream
at 1 million subscribers there.
Really, really diversify.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a competition there where first we build Galidor and then we try to do Call of Duty.
Yeah, we race and it's who can build Galidor and then win Call of Duty.
What a great idea.
You gotta beat the campaign, the whole thing.
Gotta beat the campaign.
Build a Galidor figure in between every level. It's a race.
Yeah, honestly, thank you again for coming on. Just make sure you shout out where people can find you.
Oh yeah, YouTube. That's the place.
I'm gonna link it in the description anyway.
But
in case there's one person who doesn't actually know who you are at this point.
Yeah. Honestly. I mean, that's like your last video was basically like our our flagship episode anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're here and you don't know who Slugger is, what the hell are you doing, man? Go watch Slugger. Go get caught up before you come here, man.
Yeah, get caught up on all the lore.
Yeah, you do. Well, yeah. I mean, what if you don't know the lore? They got no idea why we brought up the Vectrex if they haven't seen his videos.
It's true.
That's true.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta watch.
But yeah, like if you made it to this point in the video podcast, the thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone who's listening, we really appreciate all the support, and especially make sure you go support Slugger. I have him under our podcast friends category.
Oh yeah. Dude.
Thank you.
Definitely make sure you go subscribe to Slugger.
And
I don't even care
leave a
if you
hate comment
subscribe to
on
us.
this
Go
video.
subscribe to
Don't
him,
hate
though.
on Slugger, or I'll get on my personal and tear you.
He's gonna get on the personal and trash.
But you can leave your hate comments here, and we'll filter them out. Somewhere within the next 8 to 12 months, you'll get a response if you leave a hate comment.
Yeah, but I genuinely thank you everyone for listening up until this point. We really appreciate everything, and like, subscribe, all that good jazz.
Well, we got
obviously this is available on all platforms. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need to tell them where it's available. Yeah. They're already listening.
That's true.
We are 2 hours and 10 minutes in.
If
They're
you're
here. I'm
listening
pretty sure they
on
know where to
Apple
find
or
us.
Spotify, go watch it again on YouTube.
Yeah, watch it everywhere. Watch our whole backlog, and then follow the link in the description to Slugger's channel. Watch his whole backlog.
All the videos.
We
need that watch
comment
time.
on all the videos, and then we got one last thing before we go.
All right.
Tried and true. My favorite tradition of the show, Slugger. Can I get a last word?
Galidor.
Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis is the best video game ever.
I disagree. It's a very good game, but I think Donkey Kong is the best game ever.
Donkey Kong sucks.
You know something? You suck.